Guys, let us know if you can hear us in the chat. I know it takes a little while for people to filter in. I know there's a bunch of you here already, but it's not even showing that yet. Because I always get paranoid about this, that no one can hear me, that I'm talking into the void. And
I'm showing a minute 30 still on YouTube right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let me know if you can hear us. Hello, everyone. So I hope you have drinks. I hope they are of the alcoholic nature. If you do imbibe, thank you, Victor, for letting me know. You can hear us.
Yay.
Thank you, Ketan. Awesome. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yay, indeed. Yay, Leisurely Panda. Hi.
Okay, I'm going to give y'all one of these stream previews right now because we have snacks, but they are all crunchy. So expect to hear this from time to time. My God, that's so hard.
And the pouring of drinks, man.
Mm-hmm. It's ASMR, only crunchy.
ASMR, only crunchy. Yeah. I'm so for that. Well, I wanted to do something that Kat and I could actually eat while we live streamed, not thinking about the fact that it was all crunchy, but it's like we got dips. We got like 7 dips, 3 huge hunks of cheese, which we haven't even gotten into.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into them. Yeah. We've got champagne. We've got chocolate covered pretzels and toffee. And we have tomatoes, which, those
are soft.
Yeah, those are soft. And the one almost healthy item, I don't know. So we're not intending to be healthy in any way, including what we talk about today. So this is going to be good. And I hope you all brought your own stories of woe or awesomeness. I find that the holidays have both.
They really bring the cringe for me.
They totally. All right. Okay. I know we're going to begin with the bang. It's already 2:00. But Kat would not tell me her news, that the terrible cringeness that she's had until we got on. So I've been sitting here on tenterhooks for 30 minutes waiting to hear. Okay, Kat. And by the way, just so that you know who we are, for those of you who don't know, although I'm sure you do, this is Raythe. I am the author. I am the one that does some of the, all the live streams, and I write everything, and I'm Raythe. And Kat?
I'm Kat.
I
do stuff. I'm like the Swiss Army knife of Raythe Rain, and sometimes it's a little dull, but
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, she's my everything, and my friend. So, but most importantly, my friend. So,
and we're not going to talk about work today, unless we do Q&A, then we should. But this is not a work meeting. This is a drinking bitch.
No, this is totally drinking bitch. It is. It's the time where I can have my inappropriate discussions about things, and you can all have yours as well. And we can all both bitch and celebrate our families. It's awesome.
All right, Greta, I'm going to tell you the story. And what I want to know is, this is kind of like an am I the asshole, but it's like, am I underreacting? Do I not care enough?
Now you see why this has been killing me, that she hasn't told me this. Okay, get on with it.
Okay, so first of all, for people who don't know, which is everybody except Raythe, my family is we are a large extended family. I am one of 5 siblings. There are multiple children and multiple grandparents, multiple partners. Almost everybody is partnered up. My brother and I aren't, but my other brother, my sister, is married, and my other sister, has been dating this guy for 2 years, and only recently did we meet him. 6 months ago, he came to our house for a barbecue, and I'm like a golden retriever. Okay, I like everybody unless they are an asshole. Unless I see them being an asshole. But I don't pay attention to rumors. I don't pay attention to drama. because, people have their own perspectives. If it's secondhand information, it's not worth listening to for me. And this is part of like growing up in a large family. Everybody's got an opinion. Everyone's got something to say about everything. So I kind of am not that opinionated of a person unless I personally experience
She
something.
talks to me off ledges all the time and explains why I'm having a meltdown about things. It's great. So she's really, when she tells you this, it's true. She does not get excited about things.
So the guy that my sister has been seeing is like an energetic golden retriever puppy of a 40-year-old. Okay. He's really youthful and he's a small, energetic man. And I like him because I like most people. Like, yeah, everybody's got their problems. Nobody's perfect. And I basically like people unless they're terrible. So we met him. He got real excited about my wood-fired oven. I have a wood-fired pizza oven, which I bust out often, but especially for guests because I like to impress people.
Nice.
And so he was like, we have to get on that. We have to get on that. And we went over to my sister's house for Thanksgiving, and her boyfriend, it's so weird calling a grown-ass man a boyfriend. I wish we had a better term for this.
Yeah, lover's cringy.
Lover is cringy. Well, they may be at partner status. I don't know. That's part of this cringe story. Okay, and like they were fine, and his dad came, so they're complete cards, as my dad would say. Like, oh my gosh, you're a card. Like they're cheesy, they're energetic, they're earnest, they're jokey, they're just like life of the party kind of people. And so I liked him, and I liked his dad, and I think they're both firefighters. Those dads retired, and like they're cool Midwestern blue collar guys. And also, you guys don't know this, but we I don't want to use a racist term, but we are kind of trailer trash. Okay, this is my roots. I'm from rural ass Illinois. Okay, my parents, they're Hicks, and I can talk a good game, but I was born on a farm. So anyway, he comes, my sister's boyfriend comes for Christmas Eve yesterday, and it was cool. And we went out and we did the pizza oven. And here's the thing. I don't like big groups of people. They drain my batteries, especially if I know them and they're my family. My family is a lot. We had like 15 people in this house, and it's like really loud, and people are like talking all the time, and that's exhausting. So I'm usually in the kitchen washing dishes or preparing food. Like, that's my thing. I like that.
Getting out of the line of fire. Yeah.
Yeah. So I pulled him aside and I'm like, hey, do you want to build the fire with me? Because it's just a cool experience. So we go out there, it's pitch dark, even though it's 6 o'clock.
He is a firefighter.
He is a firefighter. And the wood's hella damp, so it takes way longer than it should. And so we're just there, and he pulls me aside. He goes, I just want you to know. I mean, we're already standing there alone, but pulls me aside in his manner. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And he said, I want you to know I am crazy about your sister. I'm like, I'm glad to hear that. She's awesome. I like her, like, I'm like,
I am too.
And like, I'm not even expecting anything, but he's like, I just want you to know that in the future, I'm going to ask her to marry me. I'm like,
oh my God.
Great. Because we're all grown ass adults.
Right.
It's not like we're 18 years old and just graduated high school.
Right.
My sister has a master's degree. As far as I'm concerned, if you got a master's degree and you've bought your own house, well, you can make your own decisions.
Right.
Regardless of what I think. But I think it's cool. Like, I'm like, if she's into it, then I'm into it.
Yeah.
So go on with your bad selves. It was cool. And then I tell him, I'm not really much of a talker. That's why I like, making the food and stuff. This is how I show my love for people. I don't engage in conversation. I make things for them and I serve them, which is absolutely true. And he's like, that's cool. So we go back. I don't think anything of it.
Oh God.
Until it's just us family members after the party.
No.
In the kitchen.
No.
So who's in the kitchen? It's my dad. It's me. It's my mom. 3 out of 4 of us have glasses of wine and have had too many.
Oh no.
I haven't had
No.
because of the raging heartburn I gave myself on my aunt's Christmas cookies. Well, I really took the L there, as I do every year. So no wine for me on top of that. Okay, so I am standing in the kitchen. I'm on my phone. I'm unwinding. Like I have my headphones on, I think, until people start talking loudly and semi-drunkenly around me.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they're talking about my sister. And my brother, okay, he believes, and I'm not saying that I don't believe. I'm just setting up his character for you. This is my youngest brother, the musician, and the house husband. He believes in ghosts.
Okay.
He believes in aliens.
Okay.
He and his partner have consulted psychics regularly and have been like, this is accurate. And I'm not discounting the existence of any of those things. They're just not things that I personally think about or care about very much.
Our consult psychics about, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm much more of a terrestrial person. Like,
maybe we should give us some guidance.
I think we should do that. I can ask my brother. He knows of a guy.
Okay.
In the city. Apparently it's a real shithole, but he's incredibly accurate. We can go.
All right.
So anyway, they're talking about my sister and her relationship. And I'm like, I'm uncomfortable already because they've had too much to drink. They're being very open with their thoughts. And they're saying things like, oh, this guy is putting on a show. Like he's being extra. And he is extra. I can tell he's a puppy of a person under the best of times. But the thing is, he's divorced. His kids and his ex-wife are kind of estranged. And okay, my mom had the right of it. She's like, if he's going to marry into our family, he's marrying up, which is absolutely true.
Wow. All right.
Yeah. I mean, my sister is like, she's full redneck in culture, but she has like a public health degree and she's an administrator for a hospital. Like she makes enough money to be considered a grown-ass woman professional, right? Yeah. And this guy, he's a firefighter. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you don't need a lot of money to live where they live.
By the way, my niece is a firefighter.
I like it. Like, it's cool. But I'm like, okay. Just my dad and my brother especially, they were talking very loudly about how they're a little suspicious of him, and he hasn't like paid his dues to the family because he's new. And I'm like, she's been seeing him for 2 years and it's her life. She's a grown woman.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just really uncomfortable. And I said, guys, I think Jim is just really on his best behavior. Mm-hmm. Because he wants to impress us. And that speaks of good manners to me. Of course, if you're meeting the extended family of this person that you may want to marry, that you intend to marry, you're going to be on your best behavior.
Absolutely. I mean, that's normal. That's normal.
Right? So I'm like, you guys are the weird ones. I think this is normal. And I think, of course, he's a little anxious because we are a fucking lot of people and we are all very intense in our ways. Like, so that's sort of like my story. I was just sitting there cringing as they went on and on. And my mom said things like, well, I have to recalibrate my preconceived notion of what I heard what I thought her life would be like. I'm like, this is your problem. Yeah. Your idea of what her life would be like? No, you don't get a say in that.
You don't. She's
grown. She doesn't live in our city anymore. Like we see her all the time. She's like less than 2 hours away. She comes in all the time. But like, she's her own person. This is her life.
Someone's asking, what does paying dues to the family mean? In their family anyway, if you know what she meant.
Oh my God. Okay. So like my youngest brother, the one who's suspicious and believes in ghosts and whatnot, he hasn't dated very much. And that's kind of what our family does. We all date to marry. Like we are in the market. We don't date casually, or at all in my case, but family's very important to us. We are like a pack, we would all be werewolf shifters, honestly, in the way we are. And pack loyalty is really important. So he's been with his partner for, I don't know, like 13 years.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, we're settled. We're together. We're settled. I'm like, well, how do you think people get together and are settled?
Right. They have
You
to
know,
start on day one,
she
right?
was-
Hour one.
She was new to us at some point.
Right.
And I think that they're pretty weirded out that this guy has been divorced and has this whole other family that he doesn't see. But, you know, life is messy. That this shit happens all the time.
I mean, what's interesting to me is the fact that they don't seem to understand that your sister is not a 21-year-old.
Exactly.
She's an adult, well into her, you know, years. Is who she's going to be dating, if she's dating someone who's her own age, will have had a past. Most people do.
Yeah.
You don't get, if they don't, you sort of wonder what's wrong with them. I would be more concerned about this dude if he'd never been married and never had done anything in his life. You know what I mean?
I would have been like, are you an incel? Like,
yeah. I think Leisurely Panda is right. She's like, nope, let her marry the firefighter puppy man if she wants. And Shannon says, this is awesome. She says, I'm from rural Illinois, and I swear everyone sounds like that when a new person enters and they appear to be staying. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a Midwestern thing too. Like we are way more redneck than we appear. Like we live in a city now, but I was literally born on a dairy farm. So
I am the complete opposite, being born in a very rich, the North Shore outside of Chicago. And so it's always interesting to me because, you know, Kat and I are like thick as thieves, but obviously we have very different beginnings, but we have a lot in common too.
Oh, thank you, Greta. This reassures me a lot because I have yet to meet people who are as entrenched in Midwestern culture as we are.
Yeah.
So this is very reassuring.
I think you did the right thing. I think you absolutely are right to push back on them. And I think that they're not being reasonable.
Yeah, okay. Good.
At all.
Good.
Because, again, your sister is older. And I'm not saying, look, I'm guys 49. I've never been married, never wanted to be married, never wanted kids. I haven't had a partner in forever because I don't want one. As my mother would say, I don't want to do someone else's errands because oftentimes women end up in that caregiver role. And that's not who I am, like at all. The people around me, to be perfectly honest, more caregive me. That's just how that is. But
can't use a screwdriver says what?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Remember
it's
when
I
had to put her mic stand together.
Yes. No, it's pathetic. And I fully admit this, and it's learned helplessness. But no, I mean, I'm like, I have better things to do with my time.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. You said the exact right thing. Like, what are they expecting? What exactly are they expecting? Your sister to find a man like, you know, tabula rasa, you know, that just like comes in and he's an adult.
And my mom, I love that. Well, I just have to readjust my thinking about what I would imagine her life to be like. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not your life to imagine. And I know she still holds out hope for my sister having kids if she wants to. And she's like, well, maybe they'll have a baby. I'm like, maybe they will, because that does happen sometimes.
Right.
Like,
but maybe they won't because they're older and that may not happen.
And they're
sometimes.
professionals.
Yeah.
And
but I do think that we are stuck in amber for a lot of our family. I really do. I feel that way. Like they don't, it's really surprising when your family sees you as the age you are and who you really are.
Yeah. And they never do in this family. They never will.
No, it's always been, and it really sort of stuns me because, you know, when my brothers like suddenly do acknowledge that they're like, I'm the youngest of 3 guys. I have 2 older brothers. One's 6 years older. One's 9 years older. I was the oops baby. And the only girl, obviously. And although I said I wanted to be a brother when I was a little kid, I didn't want to be a sister. I wanted to be a brother. And, you know, I was like the littlest one, yet I'm sort of the only one. I love my brothers. And actually we're getting to be a lot closer since our mother died. But they've had harder times of it. They haven't been able to get their lives together as efficiently as I did. I think just because, quite frankly, I looked around our house, which was so dysfunctional, so dysfunctional. And I said, the only way I'm getting out of here is if I buckle down and, go to school and do all the things and get a job and have a found family and all this kind of stuff, because that was it. Otherwise I would have been in a whole hell of a mess.
Oh yeah.
Really and truly. And it wasn't like my mom was going to kick me out of the nest. She didn't want me to go. I mean, and she was a whole other version of dysfunctional. And oddly, bringing her back for these last 3 years was very hard, as Kat knows. There's a lot of water under that bridge, but she did need help. And,
You did it.
I did it. I didn't have to do it. But I will say that I don't know if it gave me a little peace. Maybe a little piece. She was a massive alcoholic for most of my life, but the last 3 years she was not, because I would not buy her alcohol. And also she stopped. I mean, to her credit, she did not try to get it. So that was a bonus. But I couldn't have handled it if she had continued drinking. I think that would have been a whole other discussion we would have had. But what I mean to say is that it's interesting when I hear about Kat's sister and how her mom's talking about her as if she's just in her 20s and going to get, married and have kids and have a family. It's like, no, this is a woman who has a master's degree in public health, lives apart, is nearer to 40, right? Than
she's
30.
She's 38.
And I sort of feel like, hello, that's what do you think your mother thought her life would be? I mean, that it was going to be like, it's not going to be at 40 what it would have been at 20 in a good way.
Good way. Yeah. I mean, I have to say that life does get better after high school.
Yes.
It gets a lot better, at least for me.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, it was like a lot better after law school for me. Yeah. So we have, this sounds a lot like my friend's stories of ruralish Indiana and my mother in the booniest Massachusetts. Yeah.
It's really clannish. And I think the bigger your family is, the worse it is. Like if we didn't have so many children and aunts and uncles and cousins and whatnot, it's like everybody has an opinion, but I just didn't want to participate in that conversation, and I could feel the pull. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so all I said was, he's just anxious. He's just anxious and wants to make a good impression, because who wouldn't do that? I would certainly do that. It's like a job interview with like 15 bosses.
Well, exactly. And that's something that I give him credit for trying, because some guys wouldn't try. They would just be sullen and not speak to anyone, to be honest with you, and just hope the fact that, you're distant, especially when they're, and I'm really glad you spoke of your sister. Cersei says that too. Your sister 100% deserves to make her own choices and partners, and the comments on the rest of your family would have made me uncomfortable too. Yeah, yeah.
And like sometimes you just, if she ever wants to talk to me, I mean, we're close, but we don't talk very much, just because I don't talk very much in my day, in the course of my day. Like, this is as many words as I will speak today, is what you were hearing right here.
Now, I know.
It's exhausting for me to speak to so many people. But if she ever does want to talk to me, I'll just say, my one criteria for anybody entering your life is, do they make you want to be a better person?
Right.
That's all right. I care about. Or are you giving in to your worst side when you're with them? Are they giving you excuses to behave in a way that you're going to regret later?
Yeah. Yeah. If they make you better, is like, that's a really good way of doing it.
To me, that's all there is.
Wow.
That's how I choose my friends.
Leisurely Panda, in answer to your question, Raythe, which of her couples has the biggest Christmas tree? It's Ulrich and Ethan. As if there could be anyone else. I'm sorry. That's just how that goes. Darren says, my mother pushed me to get married at a young age and said my life would come together after doing so. Then after my divorce, my mother said it was my fault for getting married. Can't win. Yeah, that's yeah.
It sounds like your mom wanted you to live out her fantasies.
Yeah, we've had that in my family many, many times. Okay, so Mina says, yep, definitely Greek roots. Your family sounds like a Greek family to her. She says, they say, I don't actually know if Mina's a girl. I am nearing 40 and my mom still tries to tell me what to do. It's a thing with Greek parents, treat us all like children as much as possible. I think that's just true. That's just damn true. Mia says, my mom still thinks I'll get over being Ace Arrow. I'm 30.
So relatable.
Oh my God. I tell you, yeah, no, that's just not, I am the one thing about my mother I'm grateful for. No one ever asked if I was going to get married. I think they all thought I was gay and they just didn't want to really get the answer to that.
They didn't want to talk about that.
Yeah. They didn't want to talk about that. And also my brothers, my God, they had 7 kids between the two of them.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter.
And some tempestuous relationships.
And very tempestuous relationships. And I think also it was funny. My mom did say, well, I admit, it would be different if it were you having a baby. And I said, I would never have a baby. And she goes, I know. She's like, you've been clear since you were like 2 that you would never have a baby. I'm like, yeah, no, never. Let's see what Greta has to say here. I feel like this depends on the generation and the area where you live. I will admit that I want to get right now, maybe married right now. I'm 24, but this is also really common where I live. Date young, marry young.
That's not that young.
That's not young. I mean,
but of course we're rednecks, so
yeah. Well, and I was also thinking too, my friend moved to West Virginia later in life and she wasn't married and everyone was married and all these women were suspicious of her that she was going to be a homewrecker. She was not, but they couldn't understand why she wasn't married.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah.
What a thing to think. I would never think that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm so glad that you stopped in while driving to your family. Let's see what Ivy says. She said, they say, I got to use they, man. I also told my mother flat out that if I don't have kids by the time I'm 30, 32 or 34, don't expect any. You'll get fur babies, grandbabies. There we go. That's the same.
I think with my mom, it's that she wants to make sure that we live the lives that we really want, like full lives, that we're not missing out on something that we want to experience. So for some people, children might not factor into that. And for some people, it really does. It's highly individual. So I don't really think that she's pushing one way or the other. I think she has a real problem with change.
Yeah.
She once told me that she doesn't quite trust people who drastically change their hairstyle up.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Have you seen my hair?
Yeah. I guess that explains her distrust.
She's never quite got me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Which I think is fun to watch her try to, tease you out. And at the same time, she's like, oh. So Leisurely Panda says, I personally try to date guys, but as a plus size gay guy, it's hard to find guys who aren't creepy about liking me or just have no sense of direction in their lives. Dating is hard. It is hard.
It is.
As a plus size bisexual gal, all I found, I wish I could feel differently about my body, but I never have. It's always, I feel like I'm in a machine. I'm piloting a machine. So I'm really not very connected to it because from my earliest years, I was told that I'm disgusting and ugly and all these other kind of stuff.
And it's your fault.
And it's my fault.
Oh yeah, it's all your fault.
And even though I dated a shit ton, I mean, I had so many boyfriends up through, up to my 20s and then early 30s. And then I just stopped because I really just realized none of it was making me happy. It didn't fulfill me in any way. It actually made me, and I am so happy, by the way, I'm not judging anyone who wants a relationship or anything. I totally get that. That's what works for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I was doing something because everybody told me I should do this thing and not what I wanted to do. And when I started doing what I wanted to do, my life was 1,000% happier. And I just was like, oh, I don't have to pursue this thing in my life. And,
yes. As an ace person, 100%. I only dated because I thought I should date. Yeah. I was never really that into it. And I will probably never get into it. I mean, I'll never say never. I'm open to the possibility, but when I was, I don't know, 10 or something, my friends started liking boys and they're like, oh, you'll come around. You're just a late bloomer. You'll get your crushes. And then they're like, wait, are you gay? Well, maybe you have crushes on girls. I'm like, no, I don't have crushes on girls either. It just never happened for me. And
Right.
that's fine. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything just because I don't think I'm wired that way.
Exactly. And what's been so nice is just watching the world shift a little
Oh,
bit to give
God.
that room.
Yes.
But yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, I felt like, you know, having a good relationship is not only not a given, it's a gift and a rarity. And then you have to go through the gauntlet of other people's feelings. So
that's what I didn't like about them talking about my sister. A, it was gossip.
yeah,
It is gossip.
It's
And
gossip.
B, it's like, if you're eating something really delicious in a restaurant that you super enjoy and someone comes over and goes, ugh, your enjoyment does go down.
Yep.
It's a human response. And so if Sam goes like, oh, I'm suspicious, that's my youngest brother.
Yeah.
The names are super confusing. Like, so I try to keep them out of it just because we have so many people of the same name. Anyway, if he goes like, oh yeah, I'm kind of suspicious because that's who I am. It colors your thinking. And I'm not saying that my sister is incredibly gullible. I'm saying that she's human and that's what people do, especially if someone you trust goes, red flag maybe, then you're going to listen because you respect them and you trust them and you think that their feelings are legit sometimes and you at least want to consider their opinions. And that can ruin a good thing because who you are when you are with different people is different. So he's not crazy. He's not a monster. He's just an ordinary person like the rest of us.
So Mia says, mine doesn't even mind if I was gay. She just thinks being with someone would make me happier. Right. That's the thing about a romantic. I'm very much like Raythe, though. I just don't have an interest in that. Yeah. And people can't. I have a good friend, Mary, that Kat knows. And Mary's like, don't you feel sad? I mean, don't you just want someone to hold you? I'm like, don't touch me. I'm like, no, that sounds like hell. I mean, literally hell. I remember I had this boyfriend who always wanted to sleep together. And I was like, I don't want you touching me. I would go out on the couch. I knew I was hurting his feelings, but at the same time, I was wanting to crawl out of my skin. I wanted to just go. I was like, no, let's just, it's great having the conversations that we would have. They were amazing. That was so intellectually stimulating and all this kind of stuff. But the rest of it, I was like, no. Yeah.
Oh, Greta, it's short and curly now. Usually it's long because it grows so fast, my hair. And it's dyed all kinds of colors because I went gray when I was 16. It was completely gray when I was 18. It's genetic.
So it's so cute right now. I really
love
like
it so much. I literally woke up. I rolled out of bed like this. I didn't have to do anything. Not that I ever do, but.
I love this thing that Greta also said. My mom doesn't really care if I get married or have a family, but my dad. Well, here's the interesting thing. And, a lot of straight cishet men get a lot of benefits from marriage, but we know that a lot of women don't. So that's different. And I mean, that might be very different for you if you even identify as that. So, here we go. David, you are not alone. So David said, glad I was able to catch this live stream. My parents always host Christmas Day, but they got COVID. So no Christmas was canceled this year. Thanks for hosting this. Lots of love to you from Los Angeles. We're so glad you're here, David. Honestly, I was talking about this last night and Kat knows this a little bit. I always took care of my mother and one of my brothers for Christmas. And since she passed and my brother went to go see his kids in Florida, I literally had no Christmas Day plans. My best friend and his partner are going to see his family, and I don't get along with his mother. Long story short, she's terrible. Now she has Alzheimer's, and so it's a disaster. So I don't go to upset her. So I was like, yeah, I don't have anything planned. Kat's like, let's do this. I'm like, yes. But a bunch of people this year just seem to either have COVID or don't have any plans. And I'm like, my God, I'm going to make a thing. So I'm like, yeah, let's do something, man.
Yeah, we didn't think it was it was really low key. And my parents are gone and everybody's gone. There's literally nothing happening at my house.
And that's like, okay. But that's like nice that it's great. It's great. It's like, okay. I am going to be moving to a house next year, and then I intend to have like everybody over. So Kat's going to be like, now you really have to come because quite frankly, I'm doing this. I'm trying to create new traditions, trying to do something new, trying to do something that you want. to do instead of what you have to do. I'm hearing way too many people, and it's really, really making me sad about how unhappy they are at these holiday stuff. And I understand that because we used to have to do this with family we didn't necessarily want to be with. Now I sort of have a different take on it, which is that open yourself up to being happy that people are still with you, I guess, so long as they aren't obnoxious, cruel, all that kind of stuff, then definitely tell them to shove off. But the rest of it, no. Trixton says, my father was a controlling one. My mom was cool. And when I told her, my kid, no kids, but fur babies. Yes. Yeah. Fur babies do rule too. Hold on here. I think that this is so profound. Draco Dawn says, sometimes parents want us to experience what they missed.
Right. Yeah.
When in reality, we have to experience new stuff for us. Yes, that's very true. Wanda, I'm so glad you came. Trixton says, when I told my family I was ace bi as I figured myself out more, and my dad and his side disowned me, showing true colors. That's just bizarre.
That's so strange. Disown you for not wanting to date. Like, oh no. I thought the age of like bachelorship and what would be with spinsterhood is like
over. I really think that, obviously we all know this, that when people react badly to all that kind of stuff, it's something in themselves that they're fighting against. For real. And they feel something. I mean, I really don't think that, I think there's just a lot more of us than the traditional stuff that goes on. That doesn't even make sense. The traditional stuff. What I'm trying to say is the nuclear family, kids, however, whatever that is, I really think that there are far more of us who have a desire for something that's not that, than is that. But our society has been very pressured to make it one way, and people are freaking out now because it isn't. It's going a different way. And then they're like, oh my God. So yeah. I believe that that's just how that goes. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
it's Cersei does say, I would say your sibling who believes the aliens are a bit gullible, though. Just saying.
Oh, you're not kidding. But
not wrong.
It's like, it just goes to show that you don't have to be dumb to be gullible.
Yeah.
And I think at least I am gullible about some things. Like,
sure,
I believe everybody is basically a good person, even when there's major signs that they aren't. So I think my sense of like character is maybe a little too generous.
Well, it's really interesting to think about that is the fact that it takes a lot of energy to be cruel. I'll be honest with you. It takes a lot of overcoming a lot of social conditioning to be cruel.
Yeah.
So if you are literally doing that thing, that means you're intending it a lot of the time. Like, woo. Darian says, after I get divorced, I discovered I was asexual and am happier on my own with fur babies. I wish I had not listened to my mom and got married. She pushed me to believe in it and supposed to. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone, honestly, yeah. I'm so glad that people have found, a different way of, I don't know, just accepting who you are and being okay with that is very tough in this world. And the more of us who can say, I'm just not following this path that everyone's trodden. Like there's the well-trodden path ahead of you, and then there's the high grass. And you're like, I'm just going to go that way where no one seemingly has gone before, except there's a lot of people over there that we just didn't know were there.
Yeah, we just can't see them because of the tall grass.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think for a lot of people who are being pressured into getting into relationships, or like by society or parents or whatever, it's about fear of loneliness. And that's legitimate, because once you partner up, you tend to ignore your friends and not tend to those relationships.
Yeah.
And that is sort of like, I don't know, a social convention. I don't know why that happens. Like in the initial relationship, yeah, I get it. Because, you're like all goo-goo for this person. But then when things have settled down, like my brother and his partner, they've been together for over 10 years. And he nurtures his relationships, and she does too, which is really healthy because they live in a teeny tiny apartment in LA, and they would kill each other if they didn't have external friends and external interests. But I think it's pretty rare. And especially it's hard for guys because socially, like conventionally, I think that a lot of men aren't encouraged to have close friendships.
Right.
Like they're uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, that is changing.
Yeah.
But for adult men now, it's hard to make new friends. And I think that's why, that's why my dad joined a rec sports league.
Oh, good.
He made so many friends. He has so many racquetball friends
That's
and even though he doesn't play because of the accident,
right.
he can't play anymore. He had a big scare. He could have died.
Yeah.
Playing
that was
racquetball.
scary.
Yes, playing racquetball. But anyway, he has so many friends because of that. And he's a social guy. And we got work friends, which is really healthy. But then it's a lot of effort to maintain those friendships too.
Yes. Yeah.
And people don't realize that this is a thing that has to be tended to. It doesn't happen by itself anymore like it does when we're in school.
And you're having to put yourself out there. I think it's just as scary, if not scarier, to try to make a friend and say, hey, do you want to get coffee?
Absolutely.
And be like, hold on, I'm eating a chip.
This is the ASMR eating part.
Yeah. Shannon says, this is so great to hear because especially in the Midwest, not being coupled up can be seen as not possibly to be happy. You can't be happy. I'm single and happy. Yeah, I'm with you. Some more people didn't have Christmas because of COVID.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, I got that out of the way in September. When I had COVID.
Yes, you did. Yes. My friends had COVID. So I feel like knocking on wood or something. I haven't had it that I know of. But I'm like, is it going to be my time? I'm so glad, Greta, that your mom is like, go on. Oh my God. Leisurely Panda is a therapist. Oh my God. So you see all the dark sides of life. Thank you very much. Leisurely Panda says, also as a therapist, I have seen so many problems in relationships. And honestly, at this point, I'd rather have a dragon and wiener dogs than a partner. Thank you. Thank you. Because especially as you get older, you see all the divorces. It's like you go through waves, oh, we're on second marriages now. You know what I mean? Like it's funny. It's like, oh my God. So Greta asks, way to go, Raythe. What does your house look like? So with my inheritance from my mother, I purchased a home in Wilmette. It is a ranch home. It will have, we're doing a big remodel and addition on it. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to have 4 bedrooms. 4 bathrooms, which is insane, but the resale value will be huge. It's going to have a massive outdoor area because even though I know those of you in the country will be like, please, it's on 1/3 of an acre. And then for me, that's fantastic. It's going to have like beautiful cathedral kitchen. It's going to have a wood burning fireplace. It's going to be pretty spectacular. When we get in there, we'll do a tour. We'll do a tour of it. Yeah. So it will be something else. I've always wanted a house and a yard and a wood burning fireplace. And, with mom passing and some savings, I'm doing this. So I'm like, I'm going to do it, even though it sounds crazy to do with a single person, but it's just me and the cat right now, but I intend to get dogs and 2 more cats. I mean, I will say that loss makes you reevaluate. And it's like, life keeps going no matter what. Life kept going over COVID. Life kept going through illnesses. Life kept going through loss. It keeps going. And I think that one of the things that I've been stuck with and struck by is a sense of sand running through an hourglass. I really feel that very keenly. And I want to embrace every moment and try to be good about it. But at the same time, I really do think I've been depressed too from the whole thing. I mean, it's been very hard. So we will do a house tour when that happens. But that will not be for like a year or so because let's put it this way. I was able to buy this house because it's really not livable. Really not livable. And so we're going to have to, my builder friend and everything is going to do this for me. So someone said, I've heard from a lot of people this year that the Christmas spirit just feels off. Yeah. It also feels off for me. So I've just been chilling today while I wait for the stream. Awesome.
We were talking about that. We think it's partially economic anxiety and
Yeah.
part COVID.
Yeah, all of it. You know, the two things together, it's really frustrating. I mean, they've managed to tame inflation, but the companies have not brought down the price of things.
Yeah, it's cost of living.
Because they will never take down prices. And if they can get away from it. I mean, you know, it's just like, it disgusts me. It disgusts me. It really does. Just because, you know, I do work for a corporation, my day job, and I actually do like the corporation I work for. But I will tell you right now, they are not looking out for you, nor me as their employee, nor anyone. So to that extent, I really look at that. If you think about it as how is that cheese, Kat? That looks really good.
It's really good.
Okay, I'm going to try that one. I'll be honest with you. They're just not looking out for any of us. They're not. They really and truly are not. I love how Amina's like, no, cats rule, dogs drool. I like them all. I like them all. All right, here we go. So Drakardon says, my family's all over the country, so no big family dinner, but Christmas for me. This live stream is perfect. Awesome. We have a nice crowd on. I'm like, hello, hello, moist towelettes.
This is a super chill time too.
This is a super chill time.
After
I'm so glad we're doing this.
Yesterday's cringe fest, I need this. My God.
So I went over to a friend that Kat and I have. His name's Chris, and his partner Dave, and he's been my best friend for 47 years. And so that's been awesome. And we do this ridiculous amount. We individually wrap like every single candle and tea light because we love that joy of opening things and wrapping things. So we started unwrapping at 7 or 8, maybe more like 8. We weren't done until 2. It was insane. It was insane, Kat. Insane.
That's ridiculous.
It was so much fun though. I mean, it was just ridiculous to have I'm like, here is your tiny puzzle that I've wrapped. I was like, they're like, you didn't wrap the pieces separately, did you? I'm like, I thought about it. I thought about it. Let me just go on here. So do people want to hear about James Somerton? Because I feel the need. I must have some champagne first.
This is part of our cringe
glasses.
fest.
This is part of our cringe fest about things that we get to talk about that we shouldn't. Or no, I think we should talk about this. This is the deal. All right, let me give you the 50-second version of who James Somerton is and why you should hate him. Yes, I said hate, and I mean that. That's how we go. So James Somerton was a YouTuber, self-identified as a gay cisgender man. He would do mostly critiques of media through a gay or LGBTQIA lens, but truthfully, it was through a gay man's lens.
It's a video essay, I think.
Video essay is part of BreadTube or whatever the hell that is.
What is that?
I don't know. I don't understand it. And someone tried to explain it, and I still don't understand. Basically, he would take something like a Disney movie, and explain how some stuff came from drag queens or this or that they pulled all this stuff out from the 90s. And he had some interesting takes. But I had seen him because I of course, am looking for gay creators on YouTube to, I don't know, enlighten myself, to feel part of a community, all the kind of things, But he always made me just feel off. I
tried to watch one of his videos, but attention problems.
Yeah. He would write these videos that were over an hour. So, and he would do them once a week. But I was like, well, if this guy is so into this, you can have, as you guys know, the way I do my pipeline, I do an amazing amount of work. I never thought that this guy couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, he's got the things, whatever. Well, he did not have the things. There is another YouTuber called H-Bomber Guy, and he did a video called Plagiarism and You. And he went through a bunch of plagiarists on YouTube, and the second half, the 2 hours of it, was exposing James Somerton as a massive plagiarist. I don't mean a little bit. I mean a lot. I mean, to the point where there wasn't really, he suspects that the stuff that he couldn't correlate to stuff that's out there probably is plagiarized too. And he would literally read from the Wikipedia. He literally read from the Wikipedia word for word about stuff. from Wikipedia. And it was like, okay. But one of the stuff that I noticed about him was a couple things. First, we're going to get through this. Why I want to talk about James Somerton and why I hate him in particular. Did he steal from me? No, because I have nothing to say on that arena. I'm not that smart. I write. I write stuff, but I don't write intellectual stuff. I actually make the media about which he would write about, except he wouldn't, by the way, write about me. And I'm going to tell you why he wouldn't. All right. Now, I am older than some of you. And so I'm going to tell you that when I was growing up, to be gay was to be a gay man, and normally to be a gay white man. That was what being the ultimate gay was. That's whose perspective mattered. That was the most, I would say, available to me in my world of who gay people were. I was a bisexual woman who was not attractive in the traditional sense. And I don't have anything, whatever, but I had actually a gay white best friend who is still my best friend, whatever. But I'll be honest with you, that was sort of like, if you were to have an image about the word gay, that would be it. There was not a lot of viewer points for everyone else that's out there. And it made it seem like if you weren't that gay white guy, you weren't really gay. And you couldn't claim any kind of, prejudice or anything. You couldn't really be gay. And there was a lot of misogyny in the gay male community at that time. And there still is, but there was a lot. So here was the point of it. As a gay woman who didn't fit in any which way, romantically or anything, I had thought, oh my God, I finally found my community. Except no, because as a woman, I found the misogyny there, which was just as virulent, if not more so, and more painful, because these were men who had experienced homophobia. So they knew what it was like to be treated badly because of something that was innate to them. And yet they were still doing it towards me, which meant they knew how much it hurt, but they were doing it towards me and didn't seem to have any problem with that. And there was a lot of it. Not everyone, and please don't worry, guys. I'm not saying everyone, and it's gotten a lot better. But back in the day, I'm going to tell you, it was bad. The word fag hags, the term fag hags, was something that was used with quote unquote affection, but it wasn't. It's not affectionate at all. There's lots of reasons why straight women or bi women would feel more comfortable with gay men, namely that we are not in danger of sexual violence from gay men. Okay, that's a big part of it. But also they were people who understood what it's like to be discriminated against, which a lot of, certain guys don't know, but it was an area where you could feel safe. But they were also my people, right? Because I was gay. I was gay, right? Even though I wasn't a gay guy, I was still gay. I was sub-gay, a little bit gay. But it was always looked at with like, no, you're not really gay. You're not really as gay as me, and you'll never be, and you'll never, ever be. But anyway, that's my history as a young person, as a teenager.
Yeah. Okay. So like, as you know, I'm white, redneck, but I grew up in sort of an urban area after we left the farm. I had a lot of Black, Latino friends, Asians, Indians who are also Asian, I know, but nobody counts them as Asian. Anyway, and this sounds a whole lot like the discrimination that actual immigrants from Africa would get by the Black community. Because when I was in high school, my friend came from Jamaica, strong Jamaican accent. And she goes, they don't, I'm not really Black to them.
Yeah.
I want to like make other friends, but they don't see me as Black. They just see me as a foreigner. It sounds like it sounds weird, kind of like that. Like everybody's looking for, everyone's looking for their in-group, and everyone has a strong sense of tribalism. But I think a lot of times it's like my freaking family. It's like they feel threatened when they are confronted with the possibility of accepting somebody else.
Somebody new. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I get that this is all like society. It's like not one particular person was like, no, you're a gay woman, therefore you are not really gay. It was sort of like my guess is it's sort of like the culture, the unspoken like
Exactly.
rules of tribalism there is what it sounded like to me.
I think it was just more painful because of the fact I was like, well, you know what it's like to be discriminated against. Now I have nothing, because it really felt like there wasn't a big lesbian or bisexual community. Bisexuals weren't even considered gay, and still someone erased them. And by the way, James Somerton doesn't consider bisexuals gay people, and especially if they're women. Okay, so James in his channel, not only did he plagiarize, but the stuff that he didn't plagiarize involved a lot of misogyny and a lot of acephobia, a lot of biphobia, a lot of, dismissing people who just were, because he thought as the gay man, he should be the one to speak for all of us. But all of us, by the way, does not actually include all of us. And he has a real problem with women writing fiction. Real problem with it, because that's not real gay people writing real gay fiction. We're all fag hags, basically. That was his position on it.
That's so old.
It's so old,
That's
but
like
it's
an 80s
so
thing,
typical.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
and this is a young guy. He's in his 20s, maybe probably to 30s, like early 30s. So hearing this, I was thrown back. To my time frames as, back in high school. And I was like, not only was I was like, holy shit, what are you doing? What are you talking about ace people? And what are you saying? But bi people, about women. Anyway, it just went on and on. But he had a particular thing where he basically thought that people like me shouldn't be allowed to write gay romance like I do. Literally. He thought that that was not legitimate. And I know that there are people out there who think that. And you know what? Fuck them. But I'll keep that. Excuse my language. So I knew I had a lot of personal reasons for hating him, but I did not realize that he was a complete fake. He took not only from other creators, he took from other gay creators who had smaller platforms than his. He took from gay men who had died of AIDS and quoted them as if he didn't quote them. He took their words as his own. And he talked about queer erasure while he erased everyone that came before him. Just what he did was the antithesis of what he claimed to stand for. And yet, unsurprisingly, considering all the other views he held, I shouldn't be surprised by this, because he really wasn't what he claimed to be at all. I have been plagiarized. And I've probably plagiarized right now by people out there. I actually was one of the few authors who have been able to get money out of publishing houses who published my work. There was a member who was writing on the Amazon, and writing Amazon books. And another member contacted me and they said, they lifted this whole section from your work. I'm like, what are you talking about? From Sanctuary. I said, what?
Oh, that's right. The Lynn Hubbard
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I remember this. I was on vacation.
For those of you, right. No, and it was awful because I was having a meltdown
woods.
in the woods, and I was having a meltdown where Kat went on vacation. Plagiarism is taking something from the writer's soul and ripping it out and claiming it's your own. This man, James Somerton, wouldn't even accept me as part of the fucking gay community. And some of the by the way, he took from trans activists, by the way, who he doesn't even believe in trans people either. That's another thing. But I mean, not believe in them, but he doesn't. They don't count. They don't count. He took their words and made it his words. I want you to think about that. He took what somebody felt as a trans person when they were watching Mulan and how it made them awaken to something inside of them. And he talked about it to make himself sound smart. He took their words, somebody he would not even acknowledge as gay as him, as someone who's representative of him, and spoke them out loud and did not give any acknowledgement of them at all. And he did this again and again for years. And worse, when people found some of his plagiarism, by the way. This was not H. Bomber Guy's video. Wasn't the first time he'd been found out. It was probably the 6th. He sicked his audience against these people. And this is something that I think we all need to be very cognizant about. He actually claimed that people were sending him death threats. They were not. When they would accuse him of plagiarism, he would take down videos and then put them back up with things missing. He had very bizarre explanations for things. When people pointed out that, my God, this appears to be a total reworking of The Celluloid Closet by Vito Russo, he claims, well, of course I had to cobble together all my thoughts from that and use everything from that because it's such a good story and there's nothing else. There's no other documentaries about, gay cinema. Yeah. Where do you think Vito Rosso, by the way, got all that? Yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is it's not a victimless crime when you do plagiarism. It is something that is in someone's soul, something that they wrote, something that they put out in the world, that's their secret thoughts on things. How often do we speak and not say what we think? How often do we really bare our souls? Not very often. And then when you bare your soul and you take the time to put it out there for others to read so that they can understand your point of view, or to tell them a story of something that means the world to you, and someone takes that, I will hunt plagiarists down to the end of the earth, and I have.
Yeah.
And I know right now
I'm pound of flesh.
Oh, I will get my pound of flesh, and I've
Yeah.
done it,
Yeah.
and I will do it. I mean, that's the one good thing about being a lawyer. I'll tell you right now. I mean, other lawyers couldn't believe I got money, and I got money, and I'm sure they're still doing shit. And I'm sure she's, and this is one thing, when you find that someone's done it once, it means they've done it a lot. And I bet her, this is book 11 that she plagiarized for. I'm guessing that books 1 through 10 also had my work in it too. But I did not want to go through it because it was so sickening. But the thing about James Somerton that's disgusting, and why I really feel that as a gay creator, and yeah, James, I'm fucking gay too. And I can speak for the gay community too. And I'm got my pitchfork and torch ready for you, my friend. I'll tell you something. That is worse. Gay creators are small. Gay creators don't get a lot of airtime. Gay creators.
Really?
Yeah,
I
really?
didn't know.
No.
Wow.
Gay creators take a risk every time they put out into the world something about being gay or some aspect of culture that they feel is reflected in gayness, to be honest with you. And James fucking Somerton erased them. He erased them. And his audience thought he was the one to come up with all of that. And his audience went after the people who tried to call him out for it. It was only because the H Bomber Guy was just too fucking big that he couldn't turn this around. He, believe me, he tried. And one other thing I'm going to say about this that I want, and there's more, Kat, I want to get Kat have a chance to talk, and I've got to stop ranting, and I've got to look at your comments. But I will say this in all honesty. In all honesty, YouTube is not gay friendly. Okay. We have to fight for every single view we get, for every single member we get, for every single dollar and dime and penny we get. Gay people are normally, quite frankly, they don't have a ton of money. Most of us, yes, they don't. They're normally younger, and they're normally they live in more precarious positions, and they're not accepted. And there's all these other things that goes on. So if you give us our money, it's sacred. If you give us your time, it's sacred. Your eyeballs are sacred. Everything is sacred. And James Somerton, and I don't know how the algorithmic gods gave him a boost. He had over 300 and some subscribers at one point on YouTube.
I will say that I did watch a portion of his videos, like when I tried to watch it, because, you, I'm like, oh, here's somebody who's doing something. He's talking about horror. We are sort of intersecting with that. So I should see what he's all about. I couldn't pay attention because that's me, but he's authoritative. Like, he had a good delivery.
Yeah.
And you wanted to believe him because he had that sort of beret wearing intellectual film guy about him which, you know, as a
Yeah.
persona, it totally works.
It totally
online.
works.
And like, I wanted to listen to what he had to say. Of course I couldn't, but
Right, exactly.
for everybody who's wondering, I have pretty severe ADHD and stimulants do not help. So I have to like do something.
So he had come across as somebody who, you know, you would think him as being authoritative. And what was worse was that just meant that the real people that he was often, by the way, taking from women. And by the way, as trans women, according to trans men were women, according to him, by the way. Non-binary people were women, always women.
Okay.
Bisexual women were straight women.
Okay.
That was another thing that he tried to claim he didn't.
It just sounds like he has a lot of issues that he was acting out on the stage of YouTube, which is very embarrassing to me to think about. Like, he's giving me secondhand embarrassment.
It is secondhand embarrassment.
I did watch his apology video, which was super
cringe.
It
was so bad.
It's more than that.
He was sniveling.
Like, well,
tell her the word you used is sniveling, and it was perfect.
I said I watched part of James Somerton's sniveling apology, and Raythe just laughed and laughed at that. Here's the thing that struck me about it. It's like he's emotionally still in middle school. You know how people leverage their own personal dramas to get attention in middle school? At least girls do. I didn't really have many male friends until like high school and college, but all of my friends in elementary and middle school were girls. And, you know, middle school girls, a certain kind of middle school girl, loves to leverage their personal drama. Like, I am not kidding. I had a friend in 7th grade whose parents murder-suicided. And I think it was her way of dealing with it, but she used that. I mean, I don't want to say, oh, she's a user. She used that, but she was open. She expressed it. And, you know, in her case, I think it was her way of like coping with the situation. And we were all incredibly shocked and sympathetic. But, you know, like if someone has a little boyfriend or girlfriend and they break up and, you know, they write their tearful breakup letter and listen to their tearful breakup tape. Like, I think he was enacting his own issues with this whole situation. And I have no doubt that he was that distressed about it. I would be too if I fucked up so badly. And, you know, I kind of have, just not publicly. But it just seemed not insincere, but like his own emotional issues got in the way of him understanding what he truly did wrong and how what he did truly affected other people. Like, he only knew that what he did affected other people because they told him that it was wrong. I kind of got the feeling that emotionally he just didn't get it. Like, he has backwards emotional development. Like, he's not there yet as a person.
Yeah. You know, and I do not want to say that I do not believe him, Perry. I don't want to say this word, but it's unalive himself. I do not know. I will not disbelieve someone who did it or didn't do it, but what I will say is he should not have brought that into an apology. I think Dusty Gender had a very good point. It's like, then an apology is not for you. It's for the people you're apologizing to. And he used it as a way to get sympathy, which sounds awful.
That's what I'm talking about. Leveraging your personal drama for sympathy points. And also the video was nothing but excuses.
He never used the word plagiarism, by the way.
He also didn't say, I did these things. He said these things were done.
And he blamed his co-writer Nick for all of it. Even for all he's like, I didn't write those things. I don't hate women. I said, oh, so the stuff that wasn't plagiarized, that was off the cuff. Nick somehow wrote that and it came out of your mouth. I don't know how that works.
I mean, it just sounds like the guy has a lot of issues that he shouldn't have worked out on the stage of YouTube. He should have maybe worked out in therapy or with his friends.
And I don't wish him any physical harm or anything like that. And I certainly don't want him to unalive himself or anything like that. But what I will say is that he has no right ever to return to YouTube or anything. I don't care, even if he's doing his own work. It doesn't matter, which I don't think he could.
He would have to be a completely different person.
Yeah.
Which is possible, but not right away.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. It was like, people were like, oh, well, you know, it's, they talk about plagiarism as if it's no big deal, but it is a big deal. It is a big deal because the stuff you love, what do we love most of all? We really love the media. We love our stories and shows and books and all this stuff. Truthfully, ideas, the ideas are what we love. And plagiarism of ideas is just like, wow. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait. I'm looking through the comments. Draco Dawnstar says, Kat, you're right. I'm black. That is true. Oh, about if I go to
Yes,
any
there's so
country in
much.
Africa, I would be a foreigner and looked down upon. Yeah. I mean, like this sort of fear of strangers and fear of outsiders, nobody is exempt from this. And
No.
it's just built into being a person, I think, and some people stronger than others, but like anywhere with a tight-knit community, like my own goddamn family who won't even
Right.
let people date in peace. Like that's, I mean, really apparent because like 15 people is a cultural group.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
bringing in this energetic puppy from another state was apparently too much for certain people to handle.
Oh gosh, Leisurely Panda, you again are doing a super chat, which you are awesome. No one needs to do that. This is amazing. Raythe, you've inspired me to write my own gay fantasy. Yes,
Do it.
Yay! When you are ready to share it with the world, let us know.
There really aren't enough gay fantasy stories.
No, there are not. There can never be. And I mean, that is one thing. Okay, this is another part of it, which I probably shouldn't, barge in like a bull in a china shop. But I'm going to talk about own voices. I know I'm going to try to I want you guys to give me the benefit of the doubt if I say anything stupid. Okay.
We're just people. Of course we're going to say stupid shit.
Traditional publishing, if traditional publishing was the only way, or the only way that you could get your stuff seen by the world as it used to be, own voices and who writes what and who they were coming into, I think would have more weight with me. I think that it was very white, and it still is, and all this kind of stuff. And that's very important that you would have diversity of thought and just diversity of people, and that they would bring something more to it. But right now, you could say that somebody was taking a place from somebody else because they legitimately are. In traditional publishing, there's only so many slots that they will actually fill. That is no longer the case with independent publishing. Anyone can write it. So that means that I'm not taking shelf space from some other gay creator that's maybe more gay than me, I guess, more gay. But even if I were straight, I will tell you this, I want straight people to write gay fiction too, because the more they do that, the more it's accepted. And if they do it thoughtfully and they do it right, or even if they don't do it thoughtfully and they don't do it right, at least they're incorporating, gay people as part of the natural order of things, that we exist, that we are quote unquote normal because we're a part of it. Are they going to make mistakes? Yeah, they're going to make mistakes. But the thing is, isn't that better than if they're silent as to our existence altogether? And I have tried, and I am trying to diversify my own writing to feel more comfortable doing my research. Just sounds, I hate that word after COVID, to be honest, because, anyone's quote unquote doing their own research meant that they were not taking the vaccine. But I will tell you that I do my best. But as a white lady of a certain age, I know I'm going to get some stuff wrong. And I have had readers come to me privately and talk to me about some things. And I'm like, I had no idea that was the case. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea. And I fix it. I'm going to make mistakes. And you know what? I'm going to do my best. And I am coming at this from a good-hearted place. But here's the thing. We cannot police and should not want to police who writes about us. We should want everybody to write about us. Because once they do, guess what happens? It becomes more accepted. You become quote unquote normal. It's normal. If you're ace, it's normal if you're bisexual. It's normal if you're non-binary. And you know what? They may not get the intricacies of the full lived experience of being that. And they never will. Although really, some authors you would think, my God, that's amazing. But you know what? If you're in their work and you're more widely viewed, it's a net benefit. It doesn't have to be perfect. But if we say, I'm sorry, Raythe, you can only write about bisexual white women who've lived on the North Shore and who are fat.
That is a boring story.
That would
right
be a
there.
fucking you never know.
You
but
would make it into something, but like if that's all you did, it would be like a Harlequin. How they're always cutouts of each other.
Yes, cuts out of
like
each
that's
other.
the only script you're allowed to write.
Right. I mean, that would be garbage, and we don't expect that of any other kind of community. I mean, when you have writers in any other community, do you think to themselves, my God, they better, when they're writing mystery stories, they better be detectives. If they're not a detective, they're not a police person, they can't be, you know what I mean? We have to stop doing that, because by doing that, we're trying to basically be as exclusionary as they've been to us this whole time. I get that we want people from our community to write about us, right? You want that. You want those voices, that authenticity to be heard. And here's the thing, it can be heard now. Anyone can publish a book on Amazon, and quite frankly, you can find your people. We've found our people.
Anyone can have a YouTube channel too.
Anyone could have a YouTube channel. Anyone could do this. And you know what? You're not taking up any shelf space from anyone else. Your book is equal as anyone else's book, and you can meet those people that matter. Believe me. It's how I started Raythe Brain. That's how we've begun. And that's how this goes. And I really want to encourage us all to be open to that. And I've been not as open to that myself when I hear I've been sexist against men writing romance, and I feel badly about that.
Well, sure. I mean, it's that tribalist thing that's in all of us.
Het romance, rather, because I'm always like, I don't know.
They're not going to get it. Yeah.
Guess what? We should welcome that. We should encourage that. We should want that, because when you're writing, you're thinking about other people, trying to put yourselves in their shoes, and those who are reading it. So much social change has happened because of entertainment. That's how things change, because you start thinking that this is normal. I'm going to use a really awful example, but and forgive me for this, but the Cosby Show. Oh God, there's so many bad points of this, but I'm going to tell you this right now. White people seeing a Black, higher class, educated family with doctors and all that changed their viewpoints. It was like, oh, wait,
Did it?
Yes, it did.
I had no idea.
It did. It had a huge impact.
Huh.
I am telling you that now. And, there have been I don't want to say Modern Family, but that may not be it, where they've had like a gay couple as, as part of the normal fabric of life, changes viewpoints. It changes things. So the more people, everyone should be writing about everyone as much as they can and doing a good job of it. Now, if they are doing even if they're doing a crap job of it, but it's not because they're being malicious,
well, because they're bad writers.
They're bad writers, or they just are not quite understanding. I understand the urge to be to flame them to death in reviews. I get it. But the thing is, take a step back and be like, okay, this is what I liked about this book, but this is what I found problematic. And maybe, because all those authors, believe me, they read their reviews. They read them. They will read them. I heard some criticism about my Cursed series, which I was very depressed about, because I had a guy who was the Indian butler, but I thought of him as being very respectful, and I wasn't altogether. Yeah. But I learned something from that, but they were very gentle about it, and they told me other things too. And that's all the things that you need to hear. But if we scare people into not writing about someone other than themselves, or in a very narrow place, we cut ourselves out of the larger conversation out there. We really do. And it's a disservice to ourselves.
Yeah, it's stifling. I can imagine.
Yeah.
I have to say that the best teenage girl protagonist written in the first person, written by an adult gay man.
Excellent.
So he has never been a teen girl, but man, did he nail it. And I was pretty normal for a teen girl, except for the boys and clothes part.
Yeah, that part of it. I know. It's but
Like I had all the friends, we had the sleepovers, we had the drama, and like he totally nailed it. So, what, men aren't allowed to write teen girl characters? That's ridiculous, right? So I do get it. And it's hard. It's hard to draw the line. It's like, yes, we want to encourage people to write about their own experiences just because it's interesting. Like, I'm very interested in the way that people completely different from me live and think and feel. But we also don't want to stifle anybody from writing the stories that they want to write, or,
No.
starting the YouTube channel they wanted to start, except if they plagiarize all of it.
Exactly, right. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't push back when they get something wrong or they do something that's, not good. I think you should, but I think to the extent you can give grace, and I realize that's asking a lot as a white woman to ask for grace. I understand this. That's probably isn't, who should be asking for grace. But what I will say is that people don't learn in a vacuum if nobody talks to them. And I realized that, you might feel like I don't have the energy to educate someone. You don't have to. I understand that. You don't have to either take that role. But what I will say is I know that if we cut ourselves out of the conversation, that if we restrict who talks about us, who brings us into their stories, it's not good. It really isn't good. It's the opposite of what we want to do,
All right, let's catch up on I see some questions here.
Yeah,
so
okay. I'm so sorry. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me whether we'd like to be a bard or a paladin. All right. Kat's the bard. I'm the paladin. I'm like the stuffy paladin, like going, oh. And yet for D&D, I play rogues, and I feel very honored that my dungeon master said that I am the best rogue that he has ever seen, because I play it in such a way that nobody wants to kill me. Even I'm best friends with the paladin. I use him as my conscience. I'm like, come on, let me just steal from the bad people. We can give it to the good. Yeah. So it's like, it's been pretty good with that. All right. So Kat, questions. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for letting me rant about this stuff. And
that's what this stream is all about.
Yes, that is what this stream is all about.
Merry
and just,
Christmas.
We're just all talking and stuff like that. And it's just like my thoughts on that just have no way to get out there. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to Leisurely Panda saying that they want to write their own gay fantasy romance. Awesome.
Again, Leisurely Panda, when you are ready to share, and you may not be, but if you ever ready to share, please let people know in the Discord, or let us know, or so people can go check out your book.
We keep meaning to do this, but like there's only 3 raccoons here, but we keep meaning to like have some sort of organized thing where like it's a share your work post.
Yes, we definitely do, because we've got a lot of creative people.
Yeah.
If there are any authors right now in the chat, and if you'd like to share your books on Amazon, please feel free to put your links in there if you'd like people to check it out.
I turned links off by default because of the porn bots.
Oh, we can't do the porn bots. Okay, I will do this then another time. We're going to do this
at a dedicated time. Like I'm going to send out.
We'll do this so that everyone can share their stuff, because I really feel that,
it's
more the fucking merrier.
That's
anyway,
right. That's right. Okay, so a bunch of stuff about James being a fraud, which is so disappointing.
Yeah, I know.
K-time.
I mean, I've never thought he was a fraud. I thought he was many things, but I never thought he was that.
I thought he was just a smug film elitist.
Yes, I thought too that he was very, a sort of a prick. But
that's not illegal.
Not illegal, but
not illegal to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, so K-time says, I had a horrible English professor in college who once spent a whole class screaming at someone asking for clarification on how he graded. He was hateful. The class was lit theory / criticism.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Yeah, of course. It's always those. He docked points if he didn't like you. Well, a few years ago, he got fired from his job.
Seriously?
After it was discovered he plagiarized multiple papers.
I love it. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Oh my God.
I cannot tell you how much he ranted about how bad copying, even to quote, was.
It's like he's confessing much.
Yeah. Okay, so Tricks and Cat Stories says, Raythe, you invited me to start writing again and eventually publish as well, because I thought for the longest time that no one cared to hear my stories. Here's the thing. it is a slow process. Okay. So like, let's say you want to start a new TikTok account about your stupid pets, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
I can't go wrong. My cats are extra dumb. They're super orange and have like 1/4 brain cell. And so you take this really funny, cute video and you post it and you get like 15 views. That's what happens. So you cannot, speaking as the marketer, you can't get discouraged because your initial results aren't great.
Right.
But I think perhaps worse is that you post your video and it goes viral and you get 50,000 views. And then you post your next one of your cat wearing antlers and a bow and bells.
Yep.
And you get 15 views. And you're
Yeah.
like, well, what the fuck?
What happened there?
What happened
Yeah.
there? Stupid algorithm, it hates me. No, this is just the way it goes. It's way more random than people think. So consistency is the only antidote to this. Because
Yes.
think of it as you can either let the waves of virality or your audience toss you around, or you can just calmly steer the boat through the wavy parts and the calm parts going, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to do. That's the only thing you can do.
And I want to let people know that I get times when I get depressed that I really wish that our stuff was seen more and that more people saw it, because even if I suck, the artists don't, and I know that the actors don't. And we're, it's constantly, doing our best and putting out good work. And so don't give up. I mean, I didn't. And believe me, we had like 3 people as in the beginning at Raythe,
Yeah.
and 2 of them were pity subs. And so I'm telling you right now, it can happen. It does happen. And even if you've got your little, world, I mean, when we hit 1,000 members, it was the hugest thing. 2,000, hugest thing. 3,000, and that's where we're at, and that's where we're, working. And we want to hit 4,000. It's going to be great. You know what I mean? And it's like, but as we've gotten these people who've stayed with us for so long and been so loyal, you feel like, I don't know, I've got to write and do the best things of my life because of that, and given other people the opportunities. Like literally, you guys. Your money helped Mathia go to school to become a game designer. That's what she's doing now. And she's working for us too. Olive takes care of her family. There was a lot of stuff that you've done for people that have just changed lives by supporting us. And, my life has completely changed. So don't be discouraged if something goes well. And then even if something goes well and then it doesn't go well, because we've had that millions of times, as Kat just says, don't worry about it. Just do your best. Just keep going. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. Okay. So Chief Shu says, did you hear about the Amazon thing? And I'm going to scroll down to
what Amazon thing?
Yeah, God. We need Sylvia here because she's on top of every Amazon bit of drama there is.
By the way, Mark Dawson who's not someone I actually read, but he was pretty much an indie powerhouse. It looks like he may have plagiarized a ton of his books, which that's great.
I don't know. I like innocent until proven guilty. I want to know the extent of his plagiarism.
I actually looked at the Reddit post. It's bad.
Ooh.
It's bad.
Damn.
This guy was only looking at the public parts, the sections of some of his books. And he was finding in those that there was tons of stuff plagiarized.
Great.
Yeah. So that's not good.
That just seems like so much effort.
It does.
It
does. I mean, innocent until proven guilty, but I'm telling you, it's word for word.
Yep.
It wasn't just like some interest. It was like, Mark, you need to explain yourself. And I don't think he's, I guess allegedly until he comes in.
Right.
Allegedly.
So apparently ace people write the best sex scenes, according to a couple people in the comments.
Yeah, that's true.
Interesting.
That's true. I believe it.
Why? Why do you think that is? I'm very interested in this.
Because I find that if you're ace, you've had to look at it more technically. What's sexy and what's not, because it's not something, it's not something that you feel. So you've got to figure out what someone else feels. So I bet you've been quite observant.
Interesting. That's good. That's a good theory. I like it. I like it. If anyone else has input, put it in the chat. Okay. And yeah, we have to Ivy Glaze. We don't know very much about Chinese Danmei. I know that it's heavily censored and more like aesthetic, like BL aesthetic, and like, ambiguous brotherhood.
Well, I really loved The Untamed, and I was really, that was so much fun, which is, I think that's Danmei.
Okay, Miles Irvin says, hey y'all, random question. On your site, is there a lot of audio forms of your books or serials? I listen to you when I sew and don't really have time to read. this is something that we are going to get more into.
Yeah.
Right now, there's just the complete uncensored and pretty badly edited and recorded version of Dragon's Reign.
Dragon's Reign.
On
Yeah.
YouTube, there is all of Empire of Stars, which is a lot like this, except for a few chapters that you aren't YouTubeable at all, and they involve tentacles, so definitely not. And then Everdark, and now Night Prince, which is slow going, but it's there. It's there.
We intend on having an audio component to everything going forward, which means that there will be, oh, well, I'm just going to tell you guys because you're here. Everdark Academy is getting to start to be done by her Grace Reads. So Everdark is continuing on. So there we go.
Does this mean that we can start publishing like the auditions and stuff?
Yeah, we'll do that when we start having this.
Because it's so cool.
It is so cool.
It's not like a secret, but we don't want to jump the gun because it's so far out.
Yeah.
But they're starting production fairly soon. So.
But yeah, no, you guys are special. So you get to know Everdark Academy is being turned into an audio series. But just so you know, the idea will be that every serial going forward, I will be doing audio for, which means that, by the way, this is a good time. If any, although Kat is right now doing everything and we can't have her do everything. So we are going to be looking for someone to assist with that.
Yeah, because here's the thing. If I do everything, then I start to do everything badly. And it gets worse and worse. Because I just can't pay attention to that many things. So it's like, oh shit, I got to get the Night Prince chapter out that you just sent me and is going out tomorrow.
Right. Yeah.
Then I don't necessarily hear the errors because I'm not thinking in that way. So like we do have to get a lot more like organized with our process.
Right, especially since it's going forward. So really the answer to that question is right now you have Dragon's Reign, you have Everdark, which is farther than the public podcast by about at least 15 chapters.
Yeah.
And you have the Sexy Time chapters of Empire of Stars, and you have the Night Prince right now. So there's 4 things on there. But if you were just there for the audio right now, I mean, it's maybe not the time. Although I might do it, to be honest with you, at least for a month for doing Everdark or whatever. Or here's the deal. If you can do, we're doing the half off a year. So for $50, you can get a whole year, and that will get you the rest of Everdark. And that's going to cost you a hell of a lot less than it would if you bought them individually, because it's the only way you can get the uncut versions.
See, we've grown a weird monster because like some people are only in it for the manga. Some people don't care about the audio at all. No, some people only care about the audio.
Yeah,
so it's
I know.
Like, well.
So we're trying to, because it was never a plan, and then suddenly it was a plan. Yeah, let's put it that way. It was suddenly a plan. So what
organic growth.
Yes. So I mean, yes, if you wanted Everdark, definitely. I mean, it is such a deal. You will get all 147 chapters by the end of the year.
This person might also already be a member and just wondered if they're missing something.
They are not, unfortunately. We're doing more like we have stuff coming.
Cool. All right. Paloma says RuPaul as well, as controversial as he is. I don't know anything about RuPaul. He became mainstream as a gay black man in the 90s doing drag. Yep. Okay. So another figure that normalized things that were
yes,
not
exactly. When it was like, before. oh, this is okay.
I mean, because to me, it's like, it's just drag.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What's up with that? That's cool. Yeah. Okay, so Chief Shu says, so I heard that Amazon is giving authors the middle finger in terms of their royalties and letting them sell their own stuff on their websites?
What?
We're gonna have to look into this.
All right, we need more information.
Yeah,
can you like shoot an email to Kat at marketing@raytherain.com?
Yeah, I would really like to know more.
Or fill out the contact form on the front page.
Or we can just have Sylvia message one of her author friends because they will know.
See, because obviously I use Amazon. We use it as a marketing platform.
Use it to get attention.
Yeah, for the serial site. So yeah, that's really interesting.
Leisurely Panda said, speaking of course, is there any chance of getting a sequel series? I want more Tiger Shifter fun times.
I know, right?
I can answer this for you. Tell me if I'm right. We don't look back. We only look forward. So you will spiritually take those ideas that worked in Curse and rework them into a new serial.
Yes.
That's kind of what happened with Draken and Dragon's Reign. It's like they're both dragon shifters, but refined
and better.
Some of those
I know.
ideas.
I think that's true. I'm so true.
I think now you do spiritual successors, except if it's Everdark, in which you do actual sequels.
Actual sequels, yeah. It's like
Yeah.
Everdark all the time. That's too good of world building to stop that. Dragon's Reign, the problem is when you start with the 9th dragon shifter, there is no going up from there. You've already got your king, you know? But I never say never. But I don't have any plans for it right now.
Right. I know everyone wants a Dragon's Reign sequel.
I know everyone wants a Dragon's Reign sequel, and I don't even know what would that even be.
Well, here's the thing: you don't realize this because you wrote the story, but there is quite a strong, just a fun adventure, found family component to this. So I don't know. Y'all have to let me know, but I think people would be happy with like non-romantic stuff, just showing hijinks, like Tilly goes shopping with Rose,
Mhm.
or or whatever, like cute stuff. I don't know though. Like you would have to tell us. If you
I know that. Yeah. Oh God.
But it's like you think of your stories in this absolute sense because you have the whole conception of them.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's probably true. But I like writing. Like, I mean, yes, bringing that all in. But I think
if you don't have ideas, then don't do it because
don't.
it won't be good. Like you can't force it, and you don't force it. Okay, let's see.
You're the best, usually, Panda, and I love your name. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Stream regular. It's awesome. A lot of people are stream regulars. It's great. Okay, let me see if I can find more about this Amazon thing. I really want to know.
As long as no one is making. Oh, did you hear about this? Okay, Kate Corin. She's an author. This was crazy town.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I'm going to sell this story badly. And I've always heard it secondhand. But basically, she was picked up, I think, by Del Rey, and she had a fantasy book coming out, and her life was like pretty damn good. But evidently, she thought, why don't I just cover myself in gasoline and light myself on fire?
Oh, good.
She literally was what created a bunch of Goodreads accounts and were one starring her fellow freshman class of authors from Del Rey, mostly people of color. She was downvoting them.
That's a great look.
Tried
really
to pretend
smart.
that it was someone else who did this.
Oh,
and that she showed fake like text messages between them, and it was clearly fake.
And this person is not a YouTuber, to clarify.
No, they are not a YouTuber. No,
this is total YouTube drama stuff right here.
This is such nonsense, and they were dropped, I think, by Del Rey. They're pretty screwed. And yeah, I mean, they actually had their doppelganger like, oh, and by the way, I did it mostly on people of color. That was accidental, but now everyone thinks you're racist. Now remember, this is Kate talking to Kate about herself. It was real.
Oh, so sock puppet.
Yeah.
Sock puppet accounts. Whoa, shades of Kira Takenuchi.
Oh yeah, total Kira Takenuchi.
That's ancient internet yaoi lore right there.
I know.
I feel like we should do the rise and fall of Kira Takenuchi. I don't even know if she's still producing stuff.
I don't think so. She was in her 60s. This was what's so painful. She was in her 60s when she was doing all this stuff 10 years ago. She's in her 70s now. So I sincerely hope that she's not still doing this.
Like, that would be unseemly in a high schooler. What she did.
She was nut bar.
Okay, so people are saying slice of life stuff.
Slice of life? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, but again, like, it's not going to happen if there's no inspiration there, because that's what people want. They want things that you want to do.
And that's not to say that I wouldn't actually pick up and do like a short thing. The problem is I don't do short, and the problem is I'm already at the.
You're overextended.
I'm overextended because beyond the stories you're seeing, because remember, it's a chapter every other day, responding to comments, writing, for example, the next mangas. Dealing with business side stuff, recording the audio. By the way, I will be playing some roles in Everdark Academy. That's the actors insisted.
God, we can finally talk about this.
I know.
I've
unsealed the bottle.
Yes. Even though it's like not.
You heard it here first.
Not a thing yet, because we are on like chapter 90 something.
I know.
On the member site.
I know. But I did want people to not think we weren't going forward, especially when we're going to be doing audio Well, the third, okay, so I'm trying to finish up Everdark Academy right now. So okay, this is something I want to talk for members, just for you guys to sort of understand what I'm planning. All right. So I'm trying to finish up Everdark Academy, and then Everdark going to take like a month to get my act together, and then have something called Everdark Equinox start, which is going to be a ton of fun.
Oh, good. I can talk about this now too.
Yes, Everdark Equinox, where we're going to have Cameron gets his love interest and introduce another immortal who does not have a love interest, because I wanted them to be sort of like it's going to be an interesting character. Well, let's just put it that way. We'll have them for later. That's going to then come onto the schedule. I know that the Wicked Path is nobody's favorite. There's some people who love it. Just, it's not, but I'm trying to I love it. Empire of Stars and the Wicked Path are both long in the tooth, to be honest with you. Empire of Stars is going to come to an end. It's going to come to the end this year, and Wicked Path will as well. But what I would like to do, quite frankly, is to keep it down to 3 serials on the site and give more time to Everdark, because especially with the people who are reading it, we're going to continue on doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to have a lot of space on the site, and Night Prince, and then, one other thing which we'll have, but I'm going to keep it. So quite frankly, like for example, Everdark next month is going to take up huge swaths of the schedule. It may take up, honestly, dropping everything else down to 2 chapters each. And I know everyone wants Night Prince, and quite frankly, Night Prince is getting really, really good. But I basically have got for Kat up to this month, and I need to both write the next February and record, and she needs to master it. So that'll give some time there. But so there's going to be a lot of Everdark. So that's what's going on. But what I plan is to do like heavy Everdark writing going forward, just in general. I think that's okay for most people. And when I finish up either The Wicked Path or Empire of Stars, nothing will be taking its place for a while. And then we will have like 3 serials ongoing. And I think that will be more what people want, so that I can like gauge what people are interested in. I have some ideas, but we'll see.
I don't think anyone will complain about more
so.
more Night Prince, more Everdark.
Yeah.
Okay, so Unnecessary Mango asks, I'm curious, is there a reason why you prefer to write serials instead of the traditional way of complete books?
Oh my God, yes. Serials are so much more fun. First of all, writing them and getting that chapter out for people is like the greatest high I could have. I loved when I was a teenager, I would tell my friends stories, individual fantasies that I would do for them, where I would sort of tell them as I'm, and I'm watching their face as I'm telling the story. So I get immediate feedback. So it's immediate feedback. Also, serials let you do crazy shit. Like you can say to me, I want Tilly to go on a grocery shopping trip with, Ilarion. And you know what? We can do a chapter with that, which would never happen in a book, because A, I would never know you wanted that. And B, in a book, you're supposed to really keep it pretty tight to what's going on here. In a serial, we can just veer off into the unknown and then come back. Everdark Academy, for instance, had a very, very tight thing on Grayson and Ryder. And then I was like, oh, wait, I want to talk about everybody else. And all of a sudden it was like the Kamorn and Balthazar show again, add in Charlie. And it was like, it got really crazy. We can just do whatever we want. So that is like why I love serials. It's just so much more alive, and you don't have to worry about it. No one's going to say when they're reading a serial, like, what the hell is it? Oh, well, they do, but they're like, what the hell is this? And then they'll be like, they'll go with you, because I can actually talk to you guys one-on-one and say, by the way, I'm going to do this because we all thought this would be a good idea, even though it has nothing to do with the main story.
You can just do stuff because it's fun.
Yeah. You can just do stuff.
That's the great advantage.
It's excellent. It's absolutely excellent.
It's like those TV episodes where you get the guest director and all of the characters take hallucinogenic drugs and go on this wild journey. Like, you can totally do that in a TV show, but you can't do that in a movie, because a movie only has so much space.
That's exactly it. They only have so much space in books too.
Greta Johnson asks, does anyone think that romance books are starting to become more popular again, especially for the ones geared more towards college kids / adults?
I think that's true. But that again is because of the indie world,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I mean, really, truly, Trad Pub has said that vampires are dead how many times? I mean, and shifters are dead, and this is dead, and that's dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, everyone still wants to read that. And that's why you're allowed to, like, I don't know, actually see the stuff you want and continue to see it, even if it's not the hot thing of the moment.
Here's the thing about Trad Pub that I don't really know anything about it. You guys do. Do you think that they say X and Y is dead because A, they have to work like 6 months to a year in the future, and B, they want it to be dead because they want to do something new?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing with Trad Pub, it takes forever to get something to market.
I mean, just look at us. It takes over a month to get print books.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So by the way, I love all of you who have purchased the Dragon's Reign books. I'm like out again. I ordered already more volumes of that but they literally just didn't ship it to us. I finally sent
They forgot about us.
Yeah. I finally sent a help ticket saying, could you send this out? And the guy actually, I mean, to his credit, he was like, oh yeah, I just got put it in the box for you. It's going out tomorrow. I'm like, oh, good.
And the dog ate his homework too.
Yeah, exactly. But we're like out. We're totally practically out of that now. I'm just like, good Lord.
Oh yes, Full Moon Witch, the Everdark cast and more. We've got so many actors.
We can't wait to introduce you, especially the guy who's playing Demos. Oh my God, I hope he'll come on live stream.
Isn't this his first gig? We're doing voice acting alone.
Yeah, I think so.
He's been on like TV.
Yeah.
And like done probably some stage stuff.
And he has the sexiest fucking voice.
We have to get him on stream.
Oh, I know. I hope he'll do it.
Come on, he's an actor. Don't
actor.
They all love to talk except for Bruno?
Bruno hates talking, as we know, and that's why he's K-Morn. All in all, he is K-Morn.
Yeah,
it's like, oh my God.
People love the Wicked Path. I like how I've taken over comment duty.
I'm glad you have. I'm going through and I'm really behind.
Mm-hmm. I can't answer this. Leisurely Panda. Are we going to have Grayson be frenemies with Horace?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Good. I am avoiding Everdark. The only ones that I know are the ones that I've edited. So I'm so behind.
Oh, goodness. That's interesting. Yeah, no, it's very exciting that we're going to be doing this. It's very exciting that we can do it. And we can only do it because of the membership. My God, you guys, you made this possible.
Yeah, they gave us a really big discount on Everdark 1, but Everdark Academy, we're paying the full rates now.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting.
It's really only thanks to your support that we are able to do this at all.
Oh, I'm really like, oh my God. Yeah, I'm a little bit like, and still, I think we're still getting a big deal because she's literally just pulling in people. They love this project. All this stuff. They love the project, which I'm just so honestly, fucking like amazed by that. I mean, the fact that you guys all love it, they love it. I really just sort of feel like, oh my God.
Chief Shu says, Raythe, I know it's probably been talked about before in streams, but are you in talks with anime publisher Viz Media in making Everdark serial into an anime? God, we wish. We have a 2 or 3 part interview with somebody who really knows what it takes to do this. But anything is possible if the story, I think what would really do it, here's the thing. Publishers want to make money. They have to at least know that their investment and animation, even cheap stuff, is a significant investment. They have to know that they're going to make their money back, at least break even, because nobody wants to be in the hole like us. We're just dumb, but whatever.
Yep. That's how we go.
That's how we roll. That's art publisher privilege 101. Anyway, like what would really do it is if we got the public support of something to the level of like the Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
And I think it's
critical role support. Yeah, that's the critical role.
It's like a lot of public support would tell publishers, hey, this has a big audience. They're going to buy stuff from us. That's all it is. They don't really discriminate like, oh no, it's gay. They just think there's not a big enough market for it. Therefore, we can't do it.
Right. I mean, if we could, and we're looking at ways to, I mean, we're always looking at ways to get more people in, but here's what I've said this a couple of streams that probably people don't understand. When we're publishing chapter 82 of Everdark, YouTube is only showing it to 2 or 3 people who haven't seen Raythe Rain stuff before. You can't grow a channel that way. Like, we can't do
I
it.
have good news for you, actually.
Oh, well, good. Excellent.
Yeah,
But
we'll
Kat
talk
has
about that
been,
later.
Kat's been working on a plan to get things a lot better. But the thing is that she's having to do the heavy lifting that normally the algorithm would have helped. This is a problem. It is a problem.
No, you know what? Half of it's that I'm bad at YouTube. That's all it is.
You're not bad at YouTube.
No, I'm a C+ student of YouTube. That's really what it is. But like in this world of Mr. Beasts and Smosh and stuff,
Yeah.
they bring the A
Well,
game.
fair enough. Yeah.
We're competing against the attention of everybody. So it's really just how good can I get at YouTube, which is why I need somebody else to do other stuff. Anyway,
Right.
too much shop talk.
Yep, too much shop talk.
We're not getting into that now. We can't really help it, but it's fun, like, for us to talk about business, but probably not as fun for you to hear.
Rishia, thank you. I love it too. And I know.
Chief Shu says Viz Media is currently asking for people to come by and give them pitches. I mean, we might as well shoot our shots.
All right. Well, think about that. Yeah.
Especially because we have multimedia. It's not just the story. Like, they could hear at least what it would sound like if it were. But can you imagine the voices of non-Everdark cast doing the Everdark?
It would be so weird.
So
Although,
weird.
by the way, all those people who do Everdark are all work in animation. They work in games.
They work on the CW.
Yeah, on CW. They do all the things. So it's really funny. God. All these awesome, sexy voices.
It's so much fun. Oh, Draco Don says, K-Morn's going to get a love interest.
Yes. He is.
I think it's going to be a really cool story.
I think so. I've pressure checked it with Kat and Sylvia, so I think
it was all Sylvia too. I had nothing to say about it.
I think I had. She really has.
She got it.
She got it. Yeah. She was
totally did not pick up what you were putting down. But
I know.
Totally
she was like, no, that's what this is. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Moist Towelettes. I love that your name is still that. The international shipping. Yes.
I'm sorry about that. It sucks donkey balls.
Yeah.
And because I'm delayed sometimes getting this stuff out because, quite frankly,
we have to order more books.
One thing about the house that's going to come, which I can't wait to show you guys, is we're going to have a room with shelves, which will have all the books there and all the stuff where I can just easily basically package things up. And I'll be able to see that, oh, gee, I've run out of volume 2, which I did not know until I was trying to pack up. Somebody bought all the Everdark.
And you were missing one.
Yeah. And I'm like, I can't send this. Like, oh, fuck.
Oh, it's so annoying.
I know. It's so annoying. So I'm like, it's coming, guys. It's coming. I swear to God. You're coming. You're getting everything. It's coming.
Hey, I'm finally caught up on the first page of comments. Oh no. It's a challenge. Draco Donsar says, Raythe, I love your versions of fairy tale stories.
Okay.
Will you ever write your version of A Christmas Carol?
Oh my God. Actually, that would be like a brilliant idea.
I want to see you do this so much.
Yeah.
I want to see you do this so very much because it's going to be super weird and have flying snakes in it.
It will, because you know how crazy I go. I don't do anything easily. I mean, the Wicked Path is Hansel and Gretel, and tell me there's nothing in there except there is people eating each other, but that's, yeah.
Oh, okay. Lurleen Ragsdale. Hey, I think I would like The Wicked Path and The Night Prince more, but there's too much of a wait time with 4 stories going on with all the cliffhangers. I do love them all, but it can frustrate a reader. Yeah, you'll be happy when we drop down.
That's why I'm going to drop down. I'm going to be honest with you. I want to drop down because I really feel that Everdark needs a lot more time to breathe, and I need to do that. I need to get ahead, and I'm not ahead for them. I mean, they're literally going to start recording supposedly in February, and I haven't even finished the damn serial. I mean, that's like a huge problem, and I have to go back and edit.
Does it work with me reading out the comments? Because it's like an interview.
It is like an interview. You
don't have to do it all yourself.
Yes, it does hugely.
It takes you. You can focus on what you're saying and not scrolling through the comments.
Yes, it actually makes it a huge difference.
I've noticed that. It's a better flow.
It's a much better flow.
Okay. That Ryan Bow, which is super cute. I've seen you on the stream before. I actually found you originally on Spotify when I searched gay romance. That's how I found you. Yeah, we're like all of three.
No, there's like 3 gay romance things out there. It's 2 princes and us.
And us, and
then
probably
one other
something
thing.
else. Yeah,
I know. Well, to be honest with you, and I totally understand. I mean, when we decided to do Everdark, it was, we were having a meeting. I don't think I'd had any wine. I don't know how. I just turned to Kat and I said, I want to email Her Grace Reads and ask if they'll do it. And you just looked at me and you're like, sure, like, okay. And I'm like, and because I had just been telling you, like, this is too much of a financial,
and
risk
administrative
it
risk.
has
really rearranged our workflow.
Yeah. I mean, I had been telling Kat all the reasons why we would never be able to do this. And all of a sudden I just looked at her and said, I'm going to email her right now. And I did. And
they were like, yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we'll do it. And I was like, and at first it was only going to be Edward and Hannah. And then it was like, well, what about if we add like 1 or 2
Adam,
people?
And then Bruno.
Yeah. And then Bruno. And then Jay.
And like Kelly and Jay.
And Kelly. And then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I think the cast now is going to be something like 10 people. Like, and just even ones we don't even know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll pull people in as she does them too. Like, little did we know, we were actually on easy mode prior to Everdark.
Yes.
And now we're really going to be on hard mode.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
It's more than the 3 of us can handle. Honestly.
I know it really is.
Because we'll try to do everything and then we'll do it worse.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And we don't want to do that.
And I mean, obviously my biggest role is to make sure I'm giving you guys good content, which is really important. But at the same time, I have to be the boss and look at things in the business area too. And sometimes you just need the boss to say, this is what we need to focus on and this is where we're going. And I haven't had that kind of mental space. I mean, obviously with mom dying and all this other shit happening, and just the day job's been a shit show, which I'm sure everyone's familiar with that.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, don't you feel like we've lost half the people on the earth who are working? So it's sort of like, okay.
And nobody wants to show up.
Who does? I don't want to show up.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to show up.
Yeah. I could tell you stuff about my brother and his epic adventures in hiring.
Oh my God. Yes. I mean, and so that's just been, and here's the thing, like I've gone back and forth about quitting the day job, but I need the healthcare, although Obamacare does make it a lot better. But more than that, I just don't want.
And you can't leave them.
No.
Ethically, like morally.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, unless there was a catastrophic something, like unless the Leviathan erupted in this place.
Right.
There is no possible way you would just drop everything and leave them.
No, I wouldn't just drop everything and leave them. But
she's
also,
the big cheese at work. She can't just up and quit.
I can't just up and quit.
It's messy. It's very messy.
It's very messy. I don't know how I managed to become an executive at this company and still do this. And it's like, this is what managed me. I'm like, don't give me more responsibility. I don't want it.
Yeah, right.
And, at the day job, it's like, come on, stop it.
Okay, Buena says, Lord, please don't do K-More and dirty on the love interest. Oh, definitely.
No, I actually had resisted giving him anything. This is very profound, and yet I think it will work.
But it's also not the norm.
It is not the norm. It's going to be interesting.
Okay, Paloma says, the banter and conversation between you two makes it better. Your tone and voices are also a huge bonus since you aren't afraid of talking to each other about anything. Yeah. Guys, you are getting the PC version of us too.
Yes, we're being careful-ish.
Oh,
yeah, it's totally inappropriate, believe me. Totally
we've been friends for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, lots of people on team. I found you on Spotify.
I'm so glad you did because we have no idea how to reach people on Spotify other than put shit on there and hope that somebody finds it.
Everdark is it was like our magic portal, but like everything else, it worked really well for a while. It gave us a huge boost, and then we're like, oh, now we're plateaued again. So we're better than we were, but it's easy to get used to that feeling of accelerated growth. And then when it stops happening, it's like going on a crash diet, right? Like the first week you lose 4 pounds and you're like, oh my God, it's going to be easy. Yes. I'm like, I'm going to be Miss Fitness YouTuber in like 2 months. And then like you plateau and you're like, what do I do now?
What's happening?
I think that's just the pattern of life. that
It
just
is the
seems to be
pattern of
what
life.
happens.
It definitely does. Moist towelettes. I know that you talk about the Dragon's Reign international shipping. From me, it is $27 to you. But what will eventually? I mean, you can get paperbacks from Amazon, but if you want it signed from me, it has to go. That's
You're
the
in the
deal.
US.
You're in the US. I mean, obviously, I could do hardcovers from Amazon that they ship out but they would not be signed. I'm not saying I wouldn't do that as well, but I know that the signing part is what people really like, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll have to rethink that, because I have been wrong about so many freaking things.
I think we should just ask people.
We probably should just ask people. Yeah.
Oh, more Spotify people.
I finally got enough for your membership. Yay!
Yay,
welcome.
And don't be a stranger in the comments.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Feel, even if you just want to say this was great, which I love, believe me, I'm like, yay! I think it was great.
The comments keep the train on the tracks.
The comments keep the train on the tracks. They really do. Unfortunately, we've had it go off the tracks sometimes. And I remember, like, Delta's Matt was like, I don't really know what happened here. And I'm like, neither do I.
Was that the Ravinia chapter?
Huh?
Was that the Ravinia chapter?
Yes. Well, that was because it became a haiku because at the end I was suddenly very drunk. It was not good. I had to go through it. I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. Let me redo this.
Drunk chapters. You don't get that in novels.
No, you don't get that in other places, do you?
I think the way that you do the serial stories is like the way that people are YouTubers. It's like the YouTube of writing.
Yes, it is the YouTube of writing. Well, to be honest with you, I just love telling stories this way. How can you? I mean, I obviously I've written individual books series that I put up on Amazon, and I'm telling you, it sapped the life out of me. So I'm much happier to do what we're doing now, which is me writing the serials, getting all the feedback, making the stories better, and then just changing those into books. Just doing them as serials on Amazon and being like, fuck it. You can do it. It's going to be broken up. Although I'm sure those poor people on Amazon, even though I put in all bold and typeface, like, guys, this is just a serial broken up.
It's different though. Like, people, it's like when they put that stop sign right outside my house and people just did not see it and rolled right on through.
Yeah.
It's not that they were flaunting the law. It's that their brains wouldn't let them see the stop sign for a while.
Okay. Oh, wait, we got another super chat here.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yes. But first, let me Leisurely Panda says the Discord server has thought of Grayson and Hori's being frenemies for a while, since Grayson is so logical and people with weather-themed powers usually are not. I think that's a great idea. God, I can't get on the damn Discord server on my new computer because I need to take a picture of my license so that Discord will know that I'm 18 plus. It's crazy. We have a super chat. This is amazing. I feel like a real YouTuber when we get these. Raythe, I love your work. Did you know that this is the one about Visvinia? This is the Visvinia. Why don't they? I don't understand why they don't highlight these for us. That's really annoying. That's very annoying.
Yeah.
It did not in the back. All right. Lurleen, do not feel bad about everything. Like I said, what I'm going to do is streamline what we're doing so that it's like you get more of what you love, and therefore you have more of that book, of that particular serial, so that you really get to have, like, for example, 5 to 7 chapters of a serial of the same one, like 6 chapters of, imagine 2 weeks of Everdark per month. And then a week of another serial, and then a week of Night Prince. The only problem with Night Prince is I can't keep up with the audio, but that may just mean
you don't have to, though.
We not keep up with the audio. We'll just see how that goes.
We can put out the audio chapters later.
Yeah, we can.
Because for the most part, people don't read the chapters the minute they come out anyway.
They don't.
So I don't know if that would matter, especially if it means that we would all do a better job.
Could be. I mean, I really do feel that we need to hire. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I just feel like I think we need to hire someone to do the audio for us. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, and then that would add a delay onto the process,
Yes,
but I think it would result in a better quality product.
Yeah. Although I think we're doing pretty well with that.
We're doing pretty well. Absolutely.
We're keeping it tight. I want the chocolate covered pretzels. trying to open this, guys.
The primate studies the opening with a furrowed brow. This is what we would always do to each other as kids. Like when we were trying to open something, the primate smashes the packaging with the rock, screeching in frustration. Like we were nature people.
Oh yeah.
Like nature documentaries.
Oh, these are good. They're really good. All right. No, one thing that you had put as a thing about being flashed at Chipotle.
Oh.
All right. Story time. It's Cat story time. Tell the story, Cat.
So I want to give you the dominant impression of me is I move with purpose. Because I don't drive very much. Like I can drive, but not at night. Vision problems, so it's really in emergencies or like when there's nobody else to do it, because I just don't trust things that don't work quite right. Even though I'm perfectly fine, I'm probably better than most people on the road around here. Anyway, so I have a stride. Like I'm short, but I walk quickly and with great purpose. And so I ordered Chipotle. This was a couple months ago, I think just around Halloween. And I go into Chipotle and I place a mobile order, and I look on the rack and I see that my order is there.
Okay.
And I grab it and I exit the building.
Oh God.
And it is my order. Don't worry.
Okay. All right.
So
all right.
Chipotle has that line of glass windows.
Yes.
With people who are eating there at the counters.
Yes.
So I stride right by the glass windows and I hear people banging on the window, and I turn around. I mean, I'm not in a hurry, but I always move like I am.
Yeah.
And I turn around and there are these two girls there. And I'm like, do I know you? Another side note, I'm face blind.
Oh God.
So like I'm face blind to the point that I did not recognize my brother without his hat on at work. It's very situational. So it's tough for me to figure out if I know people until they start talking to me. So I go back into Chipotle thinking, did I forget something? Did I know these people? And as I'm passing, one of the girls lifts up her shirt and flashes me a hot pink bra.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, okay, these must be my friends.
They must be. It must be. It's the only person who could possibly be flashing me.
Uh-huh. And so I go back in there and they start talking to me. And I'm like, no, I don't know you. And they start like flirting with me. And they're like, I'm like, what?
What is happening?
What is
here?
going on? And they're like, oh, are you Grubhub or DoorDash? And I'm like, DoorDash, gotta go. And I just leave.
Oh
and
God.
It was just super surreal because these girls were like, and I mean girls, they were like under 25, right?
Oh wow, okay.
So it's an easy mistake to make with me.
Mm-hmm.
Until
she has a face of an 18-year-old, literally.
Until I speak.
Yeah.
And my expressions are not. You know how teenagers have unformed expressions?
Yeah.
Like their facial muscles they don't move quickly.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed this in people. Like that's what makes their
her teenage son, guys.
Yeah. Actually, no, he's expressive.
Oh,
like,
he's expressive.
like
all
me.
right.
Yes.
All right.
He can't hide anything.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't either. Yeah. So I'm a grown ass woman with almost a grown ass kid. So, but it's interesting. Anyway, so that was what happened. And I went home and I told him, I'm like, I just got flashed at Chipotle. And he was like, are we in another dimension?
Oh my God. And they were trying to basically do the things. They were trying to get flirt with you.
It was
Although that's
so
a
strange.
unique way of doing it.
Right?
I guess that's the most direct way of doing it. Be like, here, look at my boobs. Are you interested? Oh, you've come in to talk to me. Excellent.
This is something that has happened to me
Wait,
more
this happens
times
to you?
than the average person.
I feel sort of bereft that I have not been flashed by young women who want me to check out their boobs. Now
That's because you don't go out in public.
That's true. I'm like a troll person. I stay in my condo. I could not leave for days and I'm perfectly happy.
A troll person. Not exactly the description I would have picked, but
No.
I kind of like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm in my cave.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like I'm hibernating like a bear, except it's all year round.
So anyway, that is my story of, and they asked if I like girls, and I truthfully said, I just like people and I like everybody equally because I'm ace. So,
They're like, So good.
You know, I think that it is possible for me to feel romantic towards somebody, but it would take a long time.
Take a
Because
lot, yeah.
like trust is a huge thing with me, and like
Mhm.
loyalty, and you know,
All
all
the
that
things,
that
yeah.
stuff. Like, I really don't understand how people can hook up with people they don't know. How they can hook up with strangers. Like, I'm not
I
even
underst-
attracted
yeah,
to strangers.
seriously.
Like, I can appreciate when somebody is attractive, but I'm not attracted to a stranger at all.
So Shifu said that they will flash me if it'll make me feel better. Yes. I will now not feel bereft.
Great. We'll have a private live stream, which is everybody send in your boob pictures.
Yeah, no, that's not what we need.
No, we
especially
don't
if
need
they're
it.
younger people.
We
Oh
do
God,
not
please
need
no.
that. That was a joke. And it's for real. Like,
Okay, someone thinks you're the spirit animal. Yes, I don't speak
I'm what?
much. You are Miano. I can't read. I swear I need to get glasses. Just say Mia Noah 14 says, I'm starting to think cat is my spirit animal. I also don't speak much, walk with purpose, and can't drive at night.
I think the reason I can't drive is my eyesight's pretty poor. I am night blind due to an eye infection I had when I was around 12. But what I'm terrified is my attention problems.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't logically think that I would do anything stupid, but if all it takes is one mistake to be
Yes.
catastrophic. And do I really want to risk that? Or would I rather take public transportation and, taxis?
I'll be honest now with Ubers, it's so easy to get place to place. And
Yeah.
I have terrible night vision too. So I don't feel as confident anymore in driving at night. My far vision's good. Short vision's now is total shit. I'm just like, I need to get glasses. I'm so depressed about it.
That's a consequence of burning out your focal length.
Mm-hmm.
When I go camping, my near vision comes back because I'm not on the screen.
Oh, don't tell me that, because that's true. Because I've noticed that I now can see perfectly at a certain distance from the screen, but not from others.
And now she's going to be like, ew, nature. I'm not getting my vision back. I'd have to go out in nature with trees.
We've already talked about how that's not happening. More champagne, or are you good?
I'm good.
I'm having some more.
Oh, Philip Purcell says, I'll wait till you get back on the mic. Raythe is filling her cup with champagne.
I am. I'm filling my trough with champagne.
This is a tiny glass. We have had champagne troughs.
We have had champagne troughs. Yes. It's called Italy. Mm-hmm. Enjoy.
Okay. Bueno says, I do have a question and apologize in advance if this was brought up previously. Working my way through Everdark podcast, favorites aren't Julia? I don't understand.
Bueno, you did not finish it. Here we go. Julian.
Julian? I don't know. Oh, Julian, Damien, nor Christian. It's literally everyone else. Do they appear in Everdark Academy?
They do, but in much smaller amounts. But you're going to see some chapters from their points of view, but it's a lot of other people. But Damon, the problem with Damon is he's so fucking OP that he could solve a lot of these problems like boom. And I'm like, no. People have to learn to fix their own shit. Everdark Academy is the book that really has to deal with the immortals accepting responsibility for their past and also dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder from the war. And so Damon really has stepped back from that because they need to deal with that without him.
Philip Purcell says, hey, you're not a bear. You're a dragon. You're just protecting your horde.
Thank you very much.
That tracks. And what would be your horde if you were a dragon? Would it be champagne? Would it be
champagne?
Your wine cellar?
My wine cellar would be the big thing, yeah.
But what if you kept drinking your horde? Isn't that problematic?
It is, which is why I have to continue to write so you guys can keep me in champagne and wine and stuff. That's how this goes, and dip. Definitely dip.
So you're just a motivated dragon. Because
I'm a motivated dragon.
Some dragons can just collect antiques and have it be done.
No, I have ones that we can enjoy. I like just being with other people.
Let's see. What other cringe stuff can we talk? Oh, speaking of Italy, do you want to know about the pirate treasure dinner?
Yes. All right, guys, pirate treasure dinner.
Okay. I'm a fair weather volunteer, but my mom runs a charity shop that gets like donations and stuff. And she brought home this huge dragon treasure hoard of various assorted jewelry. The thing is that when you get it into the shop, you're also working in the shop, so you can't like sort it and put it out and price it. So she brings it home for us, for me and my sister to do.
Oh,
So
God.
I am pretty good at picking out things that will sell inside the shop, like, and they're not necessarily valuable. They're like fashion things. Like,
Oh, okay.
things that are fun, things that we can put like $5 to $10 on. It's like,
Yeah.
sparkly. So we do that. And she's like, if it's real gold or silver, put it into this, box. I'm going to take it to a jeweler and sell it for the meltdown value.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want it in the shop because it attracts thieves. Especially she doesn't want to be known for ever having gold and silver and diamonds or whatnot.
That's a really good point. That it could cause an issue.
Yeah. Well, somebody who is knowledgeable and a kleptomaniac told her that.
Ooh, well, all right. I like it.
So I do that. And I'm like, I did my duty. But then along comes my sister, who sits down with her magnifying glass and scrutinizes all of the stuff in the gold and silver bin. Because she likes to do that. And she was like, oh my God, this is really valuable. This sold for a lot on like Etsy or whatever. And I just look around and it's just us in the room. And I say, I'll take that. And I put it in my pocket.
Excellent.
And then she goes, wait, here's another one. It's broken, but maybe you can do something with it. And she gives me the earrings too. So
excellent.
I listed on eBay and I say to her, if this sells, I'm taking everyone out to a fancy dinner.
Ooh,
and
all right.
It did sell. I made like $650.
That's amazing.
So I took everybody who was around in my family, and there was like 8 people at that time, to Italy.
Oh my God.
And we all went to Italy. And after I had bought everybody all of the gelato and pizza that they wanted to eat, then I asked my brother, oh, I have this much money left. Help me spend the rest of it. So we brought like olive oil and some wine and some overpriced balsamic vinegar and some chocolate. Mm-hmm. It was a damn good time.
I'm telling you right now, if you guys are anywhere near in Italy, go.
It's so good. It's so fun.
So good. It's so fun. They really just honestly, their food is just simple, but so good.
When was the last time you went though?
I went probably a month ago.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Okay. Was it not as good when you went?
Well, when we went, the second year was open, there were 3 floors.
Yep.
The oyster bar. There was just a whole lot more counter service things.
There was. And there's not anymore.
They've consolidated into more like sit-down restaurants. And I was kind of disappointed.
I know. I really am disappointed that they haven't kept that more.
Yeah.
When they originally came, they literally had like just a bunch of places where you could float between. First time I went with Chris and Dave, we spent 11 hours there.
Yeah.
11 hours. You could get your glasses of wine and you could go look at everything and all high quality, very high quality food. Then you could sit at like a station and you could eat some, some incredible cheese and meat. Go to another one, you could have some more antipasti, or you could have like burrata or pizza or pasta or just unbelievable stuff.
Wanda Martinez.
The Italy and is she saying the Italy in Las Vegas is they? Why? I'm sorry, everyone's a she, and that's not how that is.
Well, it's like how people assume that characters are male until proven otherwise.
Until proven otherwise, right? I obviously just assume everyone's a she, no matter what your name is, no matter what you've said.
Yeah, it was good in Chicago. There are a few in major cities
that are not as good.
Yeah, and it isn't the original in Chicago. Or not?
I think actually the original was in New York.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that, but I think so. I mean, they're not, I will say that I don't think they're as good as they were. But not, and I guess nothing is. But
they got pandemicked just like everybody else.
But Sylvia and I will go there ironically for the beef, which sounds really random, but no, they have the best steak there. And we'll share. We literally had like 2 massive steaks and just kept eating it. Where she's like, Sophia said to me, she's like, well, we could have dessert or we'd have another steak. And I said, steak. And the server laughed because we're like, just give us another steak. And I'm like,
yeah. Steak beats dessert. Unless you're like 5 years old or something. Oh, Wanda Martinez. I live in Chicago. Okay, so it's right by the Grand stop on the Red Line.
Yes. So Wanda, definitely check it out. It's so good.
There's a lot of retail there. So you don't have to eat at the restaurants. You can just go and pick up like your olive oil and whatever.
But what I do like about it is anything that you've actually eaten, you get it from the store.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, you could buy all the ingredients and make it yourself. We've actually done a bunch of classes there where we made our own Italian sausage, which was so good.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was really pretty awesome. So, hello, full moon witch. Merry Christmas, guys. So cool. No, we normally go around every Christmas, and we just did not go this year. I went with Aaron and Dave, and we just did it. It was much more. We were there for like four hours or so.
Well, I represented this year. I brought my clan. I saw my parents. They were like, oh, so they've
gone before, right?
One time.
Okay.
Oh, we took the Metro, and then some people got cabs. The olds got a cab. And then the rest of us walked because we went along the Riverwalk, which is so cool. So it was raining a little bit, but like the Riverwalk is really beautiful. And like there's Christmas lights and it's just a really good cityscape. So I wanted to see it. Anyway, we took a lift back, and my parents don't do that because they either, take public transit or they drive. And I saw them going, oh, this is why you do that. Because I called an XL lift.
Yes.
Because olds. They're not that old, but
yeah, I know what you mean.
I want them to be comfortable. They work hard.
Yeah.
They're not as hardy as my brother and I. And so we got into the lift. They're like, oh, this is really nice. I'm like,
yeah.
This is my world,
And you can drink, you can do things, you can have it. You don't have to worry about parking or anything. I mean, I just now take it honestly everywhere
because you don't have to park yourself.
You don't have to park. Now it's obviously not cheap, and it's just but at the same time, I sort of feel like, well, fuck, it's better than parking, gas, wear and tear on the car, and just the aggravation aspect of it is huge.
Oh yeah.
And this is Mango asked, will we be leaving the stream up on the channel to watch later? Sure.
Yeah, it's always up.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep it up. Yeah.
We've never taken a live stream down. They're just usually in the live tab.
Yes, there's a tab where it says live streams, and you have to go to there, and that's
you can find them all.
So Victor says, Italy flagship stores here in New York City. What's it like, Victor? Is it awesome?
How many floors is it? Is it like super grand?
That you got to tell us. Leisurely Panda asks, Raythe, what do Julian and Damon get each other for Christmas? Oh my God. That's a good question. Let me think about that for a second, because I think that Julian would want to hand make something for Damon. I think, Julian would want to give Damon an experience, a human experience that he thinks that Damon would not otherwise get to have. Like he would take him ice skating, or he would take him,
something super modern
that he might not have done. So yeah, just something like, I don't know, flying in an airplane. I think, Damon would be unimpressed with that since he can fly normally.
Or like the movies, going to see a cheesy action movie.
Yeah, something like that. I always love the fact that in the vampire, oh my God, Anne Rice's Vampires, I had them seeing Tequila Sunrise in the movies after that. But anyway, I think he would do that. I think Damon actually would create something for Julian. I'm not sure something magical, because he does do magical weapons and magical items. So he might do something like that. I like it. Yeah, I like that idea of them doing that for each other. So they just, See you later, Shifu. Thanks for coming.
We had a good crowd today. I was expecting like 20 people.
This was pretty awesome. We were up to like 60.
Super fun.
Wow. Damon would say that Julian is enough as he would. That's exactly what he would do. And I think he would refer to this actually as Saturnalia, rather than Christmas. Oh, Victor has answered our question. He says, yes, it's a half city block long. There's a pasta bar, pizzeria, wine store, pastry shop. It's awesome. Yeah, awesome.
Here's the thing. I wanted to get pasta, and this was a Friday night before 7. So we went on the 22nd. The pasta bar was closed.
What?
On a Friday night. And they didn't say anything. The people just stared at us looking confused.
I know. You were like, what's going on?
Yeah. So I wasn't impressed. But
yeah,
as Cory Doctorow said, it's the enshittification of, well, he was talking about the internet, but I think like everything just took a step back in quality.
I know.
After the pandemic. And
it really is. Lurleen, thank you so much for coming. Go enjoy your holiday and your daughter's birthday. I think Full Moon Witch, that is absolutely accurate that Damon would present himself wearing nothing but a red gift, though. Yes, because he is a gift to Julian and to humanity and to everyone.
Everybody.
He is everybody. Yes, they bake bread daily and make cheese. Yes, they do in ours as well, which is pretty spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. Like, oh my God. Oh, that place. Just like drooling a little bit just thinking about it now. Like, oh. Okay, wait, hold on. Darren says, Damon and Balthazar should go adventuring with Julian and Christian during the filming of their show. Oh, they absolutely do that. Damon would get into it, and Balthazar would worry about his clothes and hair and shoes and everything like that. He's already being a bit of a drama boy right now in this latest thing, which I'm loving. You were not wrong, Full Moon Witch, that this is like how that would be. Oh my God. But who does not love the Damon and a bow or them adventuring? I can't believe, in some ways, I can't believe it's Christmas, but this has actually been one of the best Christmases now.
Yeah, it's really low key, and I like that.
Yes. I mean, I think that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. All right, I'm just going through here to make sure that I haven't missed anything. I'm trying to think if there's been anything really good, like, other than me being obsessed about the Somerton thing.
Oh my God. But it's like vicarious vengeance.
Vicarious vengeance. Yes, Leisurely Panda. Julian would absolutely take Damon to Disney World, and then he'd have to put Mickey Mouse ears on. Oh God. And Damon would be very perplexed, but he'd go along with it, thinking it's some kind of crown. He would enjoy that. Let's see here. Draco says, Raythe, I think this was lost in the comments, but have you ever thought about writing your version of it? Yes, I absolutely said yes. I'm now thinking of definitely doing that, to be honest.
Oh, you have to do it. It's so great.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a spectacular idea.
I mean, can you do it in like 50,000 words or less?
Are you out of your mind? No. Each ghost is at least 1 chapter or 2 chapters or 3 chapters long for them to go and have like.
And they all have backstories.
And
they're all tragic.
Yes. But it has to end with an HEA too. Well, I guess, in one Scrooge, remember the woman that he was supposed to marry, that they break up because she's not wealthy, and then she gets married and has children and has a life. It could be in this story where that person actually is still available, and he comes and wins them back. Just as like, and then makes a life with them. And that sounds like a good thing.
I think you could do a good job with this, just because like you could get into that dark Dickens atmosphere.
Definitely.
Not necessarily like the same setting, because that would be boring, but boring for you. Boring for you to recreate. It's not like you would do that. I can't even see you doing like steampunk, because it's so close to Victorian stuff.
Yeah. It is very close to Victorian stuff.
It would just be like putting a veneer on it. But like the feel, the dark feeling of all that Dickens stuff, I can see you getting into that.
Sexy Scrooge with sexy ghosts? Hell yes. I think my Scrooge would be someone who was just emotionally cut off from people because he's trying to protect himself. Okay, so I thought about Christian and Balthazar going on an adventure after Christian confessed his love and proposed to Balthazar. Oh, that would be awesome that Christian proposes. Balthazar would love that.
He would have to be the one. Balthazar wouldn't propose.
No, he wouldn't.
Because then he wouldn't know if he was truly wanted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, you understand him. We understand Balthazar's deepest, neediest, wants, and oh, he's so funny. Everyone's like, yeah, that's so perfect. That's so true. It's so true. Oh my God. Did people get any good gifts this year? Yes. My Scrooge would probably be like Bane from Cursed. I admit I'm some one note pony and some in these things. I admit. That's okay. So I'm really excited. I got all the Witcher. They're over there, but the Witcher graphic novels.
Oh, sick.
I know.
That's
so I'm very excited to
awesome.
read through those. I'm like, oh. All right. So Kat does these crazy things for her Christmas. This time it was the boification of the house. Explain.
Yes.
Explain.
Okay. I live with my extended family, and I am I'm actually pretty bad as a housekeeper, but they tolerate my efforts anyway. My mother runs a shop, and if you live with anybody in retail during the holiday season, you know that shopkeeper's Christmas begins the day after Halloween. It is in the US, because I don't know if it's intense in other countries, but in the US, it's crazy town. And of course, we're all pressed into service. I've volunteered at the shop several times. I had to do the jewelry thing, which resulted in a great eating adventure. So I'm not complaining about that. Anyway, she's super stressed and gets a little weird. And I can't really punish her for that, because I totally understand that she's super stressed and she can't help herself. It's just like somebody who's short-tempered because they're ill. Like, you can't blame them for that. They're ill. Everybody's crabby when they're sick. They feel bad. So I indirectly get my revenge by pranking the entire house. And I've done all kinds of weird stuff. But this year, I got a bunch of tacky ass red velvet bows.
Excellent.
In a giant lot. Bows of assorted sizes. And I bowed up the house. I put bows on everything. I put them on the lamps, on the hanging lights, on top of every single picture. I tied bows on all of the dining room chairs.
Oh my God.
And then like we got these red velvet curtains with pom-poms. They're literally children's puppet show theater curtains.
Excellent.
And hung them in a divider that separates the living room from the dining room. We have a formal Victorian house.
Yes, so yes.
We have a formal dining room. And like it gave the place a very stifling and festive air, because it's a dark house, because it's a Victorian house with a lot of dark wood. So we bowed it up, and of course my niece comes over and she's like, oh, let's put some more bows on there. And she was having
more bows.
She was just laughing and laughing, putting up bows. So we really bowed it up. And my mom thought it was hilarious. My dad didn't get it, but that's my dad. He's really square. But then my son's friend comes over and she goes, oh, this is so cute. Oh my gosh, look at all the bows.
And Kat was very disappointed. No, it was like, no, it's not cute. It's tacky. It's crazy.
It actually does look pretty good.
I bet it does.
Because the dark Victorianness of my house suppresses everything.
Yes, it does.
So it's like anything you do, it's muted. So it was pretty cute, except that if you know our design aesthetic, it really isn't it at all. So that's what makes it funny. So that's what I did this holiday season, and the surprise trip to Italy.
I'm going to say that, one of the things is I love hearing about each year how Kat does some kind of Christmas theme, because there's been the like abstract Santas you, I think, painted or whatever. It was like, that was pretty good. I think for myself, she's done some things for me, including, okay, so I have this fancy toilet that I saved up for that I love. And it actually has a thing where it can play music or anything else. So she and Jeremy, the tech god, snuck in here and changed the toilet song.
That's right.
On there. I was like, what the hell is happening here? Yes, it was just like, it was awesome. It was awesome, truly awesome. We don't like, I don't do that kind of stuff enough. It's still good. It's so
Mhm.
good. I'm like looking through what people got.
I know, me too.
I love the person who got all the kittens.
Oh, I know.
Oh, kittens. Vintage slappy squirrel t-shirt. I love it. I love it. Oh my god.
Kittens.
Kittens.
That's the best gift of all.
They are soft and fuzzy and lovely. Mine's in my bed right now. She's
Mhm.
totally like not coming out.
She's an old lady.
She is an old lady. That's going to be one thing. When I do go to the house, that's going to be a complete shocker to her because she's been used to this very small condo. And she's like, you know, if she's not on the couch, she's in the bed, you know, or she's eating food. And now they're going to be all broad swaths of things. And she's going to be like, oh,
she's going to be so freaked out.
It's going to be great and funny and sad. And I just thought, okay, I wish they'd done this. I 100% thought that you were going to say Kat and Jeremy changed it to the screaming goat noise. I let Edward. Oh my god.
No, we changed it to them. This like we got a new age music track.
New age music track.
And then I used text to speech voiceover that was like, "Welcome to the cat drinking fountain."
Yeah, it was like, oh my god. No, the screaming goat is the best. I love his screaming goat.
Baby kittens. Oh my gosh.
Babies. Everyone's like going through. I think we like, yeah, we actually do lists for gifts now, which I know sounds lame, but the truth is that we all forget what we've asked one another for when we do it, like me, Chris, and Dave. And I'm like, I have no idea what that is that I got you. Oh, I didn't remember asking for this. And it's always the best.
Oh, for everybody. We don't really exchange gifts in our family. It's all about the food, as you have heard. But we do like little gag gifts. So somebody gave me an ugly sweater, which is great.
Awesome.
It's like Palm Beach. It's like pink with green trees on it. It's really great.
Oh,
and for everyone else, I got them dubious health supplement packets.
Oh no!
Yes. So there's this stuff called like Hydratech. And it's a Gatorade packet, but it's
excellent.
It's like
Hydratech.
And then there was Virotech. It's supposed to boost your immune system, and like a bunch of stuff like that. It's like real Joe Rogan type stuff. And I just put handfuls of packets. I gave them to everybody. They thought it was hilarious.
It's like poison. It's like, here you go. Have some Hydratech. Kiki, we're so glad to have you that you did this for a Raythe membership. Awesome. What I love here is Simone. If I got Mew a cubby hole, she would pee on it. Yeah, that's how she rolls.
She's weird and territorial about that.
She is weird and territorial.
Like if you get something new, she'll pee on it.
Yeah, and she likes to pee on soft things. Okay, so the bow explosion. Yes, excellent. I'd have to push you down the stairs for the bow explosion. So wrong. Furry Crocs, most excellent.
Nice.
Wait. I got my dad a Darth Vader Christmas sweater that reads, "I find your lack of cheer disturbing." I love it. Pray I do not change the deal any further. Just like Everything Grinch was gifted with Everything Grinch and oddly a Golden Girls shot glass.
Okay.
I like it. No, I asked for some coloring pencils.
Oh yeah.
So I'm doing that. Yeah, I'm coloring. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm like, all right. So you didn't have to. So Rude T says, lucky me, didn't have to cook this year. My daughter hosted. I did bake eggnog pie with pistachio crust and eggnog cupcakes, both gluten-free and actually tasty. The actually tasty part was necessary to add. Although that's not true because, Kat, you've had to bake a ton of gluten-free things.
Yeah.
And you've gotten it really well.
Yeah. It's not that hard. Especially with like the pre-made mixes, like the King Arthur gluten-free mix. It's like so good.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything.
Oh, yeah. Michael Jackson Funko Pops. I love it. Oh my God.
Ooh, fuzzy blanket.
I do like fuzzy blankets. There's this company called Unhide, which is, I think it's Ellen DeGeneres, which is all sorts of wrong. But ignoring her, the actual products are awesome.
I think I've seen some in the shop.
Ooh, yes. Yes. All right. I bet Damon would make a great Darth Vader. Of course he would cosplay. And Jillian would be, they could totally do that for Halloween. And then Damon could be like, you must call me daddy. And it would be all sorts of fun. There are a lot better gluten-free stuff than there were before. My God, I remember. I did that for a while as well.
You were gluten-free?
Yeah.
Oh,
they
because
thought
of
that
your
was one
stupid...
of, yeah. Yeah. All the things that they thought were wrong with me. And it was just not that, unfortunately. And not unfortunately. That's so hard to get rid of wheat, as we know.
Yeah, it's in everything.
It's in
Even
everything.
if you don't like eat bread.
I know. Yeah, it's in salad dressing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How can there be gluten in salad dressing? What's going on?
Yeah, it's in everything. Oh, crap. I forgot to bring you a loaf of Skyrim bread.
Ooh, Skyrim bread.
Yes. Oh, you don't even want to know. Okay, so my brother was supposed to get home early yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
He's a baker, and bread doesn't bake itself. So he has to work minimally because he's like the head baker.
Oh, wow. All right.
So he has to work, which is fine. I mean, our damn service family, we got nurses, we got firefighters.
Exactly. You have to basically, work all the time on all those holidays.
Anyway, so he didn't get back until like 8:30. And he's like, I couldn't get out of there because 4 restaurants didn't pick up their bread order.
Oh, you're kidding.
And so he's like, I just had to put them in the back of the car and drive home. I kept trying to get them to pick up their order and they wouldn't come. I'm like, so the back of the car has all this bread. He goes,
are you kidding?
He goes, I have 4 giant bags and another sack of pre-cut. I'm like,
oh my God.
What are you going to do with that? And he goes, I don't know. So this morning he's leaving for work again. And he brings in from the car 4 giant sacks of Skyrim loaves.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. So I will see if I can get you in.
I'm really excited.
I mean, I can always get you in. He's always bringing bread home. So
that is, yeah. I love the fact that your family like really does the baking bread thing. Like legitimate, even outside of him doing that. He used to bake pies, didn't he?
That was also professional.
Yeah.
He's done baking forever.
Forever. Yeah. So that's the thing. Oh God. All right. Well, we're down to celiac disease and bread. So I think we're done.
Yeah.
We'll stop talking. We're both like, Kat and I are like winding down. Yeah. But I'm just telling you guys, like, thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, this was fun.
It was so much fun. And it may actually be another tradition we do because it just seems like it worked out really well. And it was just a good time to be had by all. We're going to finish some champagne and just chill out. And this will be the thing. In all honesty, guys, thank you so much. And we will be, oh wait, someone has a question. Hold on a second here. I have a question about the website podcast. Is there a way to get the episodes to play in order like they do on Spotify? That's a very fascinating question. We'll find out.
The answer is probably not, because what we have to do to get it to work at all is so janky.
Yes. Look, we use a thing called oh my God, I can't even think of the name of the program.
Joomla.
And Joomla has it has literally one podcast application, and Jeremy had to hack it to
make it work.
So we're still trying to find better solutions. We keep that in mind as we go more audio. We are going to have to find better solutions. In a different way, and we do not know, but we are going to look into it.
We have to. Yeah.
So yes, all right, you guys have a wonderful rest of your holiday. We shall all be seeing you very soon. Take care. We love you.